Are you ready? Can't crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Gotta shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Tune in for a tune-up. You're listening to Can Crushers with Amber Nova.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, what's that song? Now that I was doing it for a purpose.
It's Hello. Is it Hello from the Other Side,
How
right?
I can see you from the other side.
Oh.
Is it me?
You're looking for that. That's where my head originally went to, and I'm like, wait, maybe did I send out like Adele or not? And
you sent out Adele.
I sent out Adele, but you know, I called Adele. I called for Adele. She populated nowhere.
Wrestling podcast. We can't sing. We're not screaming hello today. That is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that has put a smile on my face in the last 5 minutes. Thank God. Last week's high has come tumbling down. Sir Michael Jenks. I am Mark the Mark. Hello.
Hello. You'd come crashing down.
Remember last week when it was coming up Mark?
Yeah, it was not a care in the world, Mark.
Now. Oof. Some of you may know, close members of the family, the Can't Crush the Nation, whatever, had a bit of a rough patch this week. And, so there's nothing going on. I have to stay at home for some reasons, unbeknownst to anybody, and we don't want to bring them up here because. So it is me saying, I apologize, I cannot be at High Ground Professional Wrestling tonight. Brawloween will continue to take place at the Falcon's Nest in Mayfield. I will return. So don't worry about that. There was
the MVP will be back, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah,
can't keep him down. There was
a little of a breakdown, hoping that I wasn't going to rub anybody the wrong way or anything. So I had to reach out to people and this, that, and the other. But things will come back around. Hopefully November I'll be there. And then as for everything else, can I tell you one thing before we get to how your week is? Because I'm not going to shit on everybody's parade, because that would be, right?
That's fair. What do you want to tell?
I hope everybody can come and see a play in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, December 7th, 8th, or 9th, or 14th, 15th, or 16th. It's a Christmas play.
Okay.
It's a Christmas carol.
Oh, that's a nice little play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm in it.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to allude to it or not. So you're in it? You're going to be the star. Look, the MVP of High Ground Professional Wrestling has now found his way to the stage.
Right.
And will be projecting his beautiful voice to the masses on the stage.
IMDb's got to put this on our
I hope they do. You need an actor profile now. And what I understand, you've acted before, so there should be a whole litany of things out there. I mean, you have movies under your belt. You have stage presence.
I do.
You should have an IMDb page right now, besides Can Crushers.
I should have a Golden Globe. Or what's the other big award that you get?
Well, you get stages.
You get stage.
If we talk on the stage,
at my house.
I was trying to get to that point. When you get on stage, you get the Tonys. In film, you get the Oscars. So
all of them. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
They'll be all there for you, waiting for you.
The play is, as you hear it in the background, so I better pause it. is Farnsdale Christmas Carol. It is a low-budget production of A Christmas Carol.
I mean, if you think about it, they have to pay you, so...
Right.
Maybe in more of a theoretical sense, but they have to pay you something to...
They can pay me in Southern Tier Caramel Pumpkin.
That shit's good, isn't it? I'm debating right now. I don't have one yet. I'm debating next segment whether I go Pumpkin or Warlock. We'll get there when we get there, but I knew you would like that.
That's a decision during the break.
Yeah. It's a coin flip during the break. By the way,
go ahead.
I don't want to sidetrack things, but I tried looking up your name on IMDb. There's a ton of Mark Martinez's on here.
But not the Mark Martinez.
I don't know. There's some that are kind of... Well, I don't know why Bad Bunny showed up, but that's a different story.
All of a sudden, I don't know where this is coming from whatsoever. There is, and I'm not being a dick whatsoever at this point, I'm trying to be Mark. I may be on IMDb.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, okay, you've had a couple movies that at least I know of.
Again, low budget, but they show up.
They show up, so that's why I was kind of like, okay, while you give a little insight on the stage appearance, I was just going to pop around here and see if you pop up, but...
Good. At least we went to that, because I thought you were going to say, hey, give me one of those movies you're in, because off the top of my head, I don't know them.
It's got Chainsaw in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, Chainsaw.
Something or other. Yeah, I knew it had one of those, so I'm just looking for that on the credit list of some of these.
So, the play, Farnsdale Bad Estate, it's maybe next week when I bring my book in, I'll give you the whole title. But, again, it's a low-budget Christmas Carol, done it like a estate, essentially. I play, and this is all I'm giving you, I play Gordon Pugh, the stage manager. That does so much more. So, if you're looking for a good night out, some fun, some ha-ha-has, it'll be December 7th, 8th, and 9th, and what did I say? 14th, 15th, and 16th at the St. Mary's Moose upstairs of it. So, come on out.
I like how you're bearing the lead, not giving away too much, just enough to get people in there and say, listen, my sexy ass is going to be on stage and I need you guys to come support. Right. I get it. I wholeheartedly get it.
I'm already. I don't want to give out the whole, the glitz and I mean, just by Farnsdale Christmas Carol, you're going to be able to find it. But I mean, there's like, so it's wordy. It really is. You can find it on YouTube, but realize it's very much a comedy. It's a shtick show, which that doesn't fit me at all. It's all of that. If you've never heard of it, just realize it is, the meat and potatoes is, it's a Christmas Carol. With a hell of a twist. Don't watch the YouTube because it's that, and we're going to say this because Can't Crush Your Nation knows, it's that stupid that you die laughing the first time you saw it. Like, this one just popped in my head. Remember when you watched Superbad the first time and you about pissed yourself from everything?
Yeah.
People could do that with this play done right, and we're doing it so far. 2 practices in, I'm already telling the director.
You're running the show at this point from what I'm hearing most of the time. You're telling the director what to do. You're telling with the cast where to stand. You're going for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for it. How long I'm there. That's the thing.
You'll be there a while. I think they appreciate your input, and I don't believe you're just sitting there like micromanaging every little aspect of it.
Not at all. No, because listen, I haven't done this on plays. I haven't done this in like 30 years, honestly. But I have. I think the best part in the play is me and Scrooge, and I'll leave it at that. It's Abbott and Costello. The part that I'm talking about is Abbott and Costello-esque. My voice is just really shit the bed.
And now you're losing your voice.
Talking. I know. Yeah. In the 15 minutes we've been talking, I'm now losing my voice. I do sing, by the way, as well in this. Couple times.
See, you're straining your voice too much with all that singing in that, and now I really want to see this play out, because if it's, I know you only said the one rule, but I'm just envisioning you say it's you and Scrooge, so I feel like it's another major plot point in the story, which I think is a very intriguing take on it. So I'm very intrigued by it. We'll say that.
Right. So barring the weather, I'm not saying anything to strong arm you and Kimberly to come down, but barring the weather at that time, I would expect to see you in the front row. But we'll leave
one
it
of
at
those
that.
days. We'll see. Well, I don't know. If there's going to be a lot of people there, I might have to sit in the back, just from everybody trying to get up close and personal.
They really haven't. This is the first release to the public that I am in this.
Okay.
They can't tell everybody around here yet because the masses will be lining up. I'll sell out the St. Mary's Moose more than Taylor Swift sold out stadiums.
And theaters now. I mean, that's true. There's going to be lines around the block, wrapped out. They're going to they don't have the capability to do watch parties outside because it's going to be in the middle of winter at that point.
Right.
Everything's going to be snow covered and that, so.
Closed circuit is what I'm thinking.
Oh, that could be. Could get a couple bars in on it. Just get, like the first WrestleMania, you just got to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Churches, bars, wherever.
Whatever. Churches, too. I get it. I get it. There's going to be people worshiping in the Moose Club. But you're getting them worshiping in churches now.
I didn't mean it like that. How was your week, sir?
Well, now that I found out you're getting people to worship you in church, it's gone uphill. Now, good week, solid week. I forgot. I was going to tell you something that happened this week. I completely flew the coop because I'm just mind blown by how much greatness you're going to have spread across St. Mary's in the couple weeks.
El County, actually, El County.
El County, yes. No, it's been a pretty decent week. Can't complain too much. I've not been cast in any place, so nobody needs to worry about that there. But yeah, just odds and ends, work, it's been nonstop. It's been nonstop all week, so it's kind of like, all right, I'm done. I'm shut off from work. I'm shut off from that stuff. Not going to worry about it. Not going to do anything with it for the rest of the weekend. Come back on Monday. Well, the news actually did break around here, so I guess this is the biggest news is as of January 1st, I'm back full time. So it's on now. So we'll get a bank of days we can work from home, but it's essentially we're back in office full time, which I knew it was coming. We're playing with fire. They need to fill the buildings, get people down. I mean, they built a goddamn new office building pre-pandemic, could not use it for the first 2 years.
You walked in and looked at it, I remember, at one point. And then you're like, what?
I had to. Yeah, it was literally, I walked in, looked at it, left because I was not working down there and they didn't let anybody in that wasn't in office yet go in there. So but we got to fill that building up. We got other buildings we got to fill up. There's a lot of unknowns. Parking is a cluster.
Yeah,
it's cluster. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so figure that out, figure everything out. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I know there's going to be a couple days I'll probably have to come home over lunch to let out all the dogs and everything, make sure they're still doing good. Because Bailey has not had me go into the office full time for a full week in her entire life. Ever since I've gotten her, I've been home. I've at least worked from home a certain number of days. And she's come to expect me to be home or at least somewhere with her for a number of days. So now this is a whole change in caboodle. She's a great dog.
But it's a change in life.
It's a change in life. It's just change all around. And so I think we just need to make sure that she's kind of settle down, just be in a good place.
Change the way.
I love it. Look at you, get that voice going and everything.
By the way, I've been thinking of that. That's probably our title. Because essentially when we talk wrestling, you'll get it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I had to try to find a way to fit that in.
That's a good, I like that.
First segment, we got it in.
Yeah, I like it. Look at that. Done and over with. We don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. Outside of that, nothing. Did a little project in the closet. Gave some more closet room for clothes and that. But, just odds and ends around the house. Nothing too crazy going on this side of the woods, if you will.
Have you had any good beers this week?
I wouldn't say good. I will say Southern Tier Harvest really hit the spot this week. And if you've had it, great. If you haven't, it's pretty fantastic. It should be picked up.
How about getting Miggy with it? Have you had that this week?
I haven't had that. I was more partial to a Bayside Bailey, but, it's just one of those things where you try to figure out what you like, what you don't like. Especially when you know the brewmaster, you kind of have to play the field and see what are they putting more into, what are they not, that type of thing.
You guys know I'm going right to this. Brewmaster is I don't know how many. I sent you a picture with 5 of them that I made.
5 of them, and there's a funny story about the one I've mentioned that neither of us frickin' F-bomb. We fucking missed it. There's the F-bomb. But you tell the story, because this is for your stuff.
I was Saturday, as you guys know, last week, I was high and mighty. I was playing a Brewmaster in an animal shelter. Well, Brewmaster, I was just throttling through it. So I made getting Miggy with it, because the wife was helping me name beers as well. She was here. Getting Miggy with it to the max. One of our dog's other friends, Ollie gone. One of our dog's other friends, Phil Lilly. So they were joking ones. Well, everybody left me then, so I'm like, all right, I can make this next beer. So I make Bayside Bailey for my comrade here, Sir Michael Jenks. I spell Bay as in Bay, or you're my Bay, not like the Ocean Bay, B-A-Y.
Yeah.
I send it to Mike, B-A-E-S-I-D-E, Bailey. And he's like, oh, Bailey got a shout out, da-da-da-da. Ethan comes home. And I'm like, dude, I've been making fucking beer all day. This is awesome. This is so much fun. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm getting this accomplishment. I'm getting that accomplishment. You look puzzled.
I thought I heard dogs having a vomit attack, but I don't think that's what I'm hearing. So
go check.
Go on to tell you. Go ahead and talk. I'll be right back.
Oh my God, how do I follow that? So I'm making beer, and Ethan comes down. He's like, "What the hell? What are you trying to name this?" I'm like, "Which one?" And he points to, because you can create your logos and everything on it as well. And he's like, "That's not how you spell Bay." I'm like, yeah, it is. In wrestling or in, you're my Bay, kind of, that's how I spelled it. So it's B-A-E-S-I-D-E compared to swapping out the E with a Y. So nonetheless, Bailey does have a beer. And then I'll hold on this. And then I went over and continued to play, Animal Shelter, and played that all weekend. And people were like, oh, great, we're just going to get to listen to Mark talk about his video games. But no. As we're getting set for Jenks to come back, I do want to tell you guys, yes, on October 25th, we're going to have our special spooky edition. So if you guys are looking forward to that, that's going to be the spotlight that week. And we're going to talk about 10 wrestlers that Jenks is back, by the way. I'll finish this now. Our promo. We're going to talk about 10 wrestlers on our list that remind us of spooky or scared us or whatever as kids, and we're also going to have 3 matches. So if you guys want to get those in, please get them in by the 22nd. Email them or DM them or whatever. You'll see the post later on this week to remind you. Following that, another announcement before I get back to Brewmasters. Next week is Ask Can Crushers. I already have 2 or 3 in the hopper that I've copy and pasted. So get your questions in for next week. Ask Can Crushers. Bring whatever you got. Your high and mighty questions. Ask me more about the play. Ask me more about Brewmasters. Ask me about Animal Shelter, anything like this. I'll answer it. Ask Jenks about being an Oregon fan, crushing Colorado, or anything like that.
And how beautiful it was. So, but Bailey's
back
fine.
Bailey's fine.
Bailey's fine. Also in Rome. I got a beer. So go ahead.
By the way, she did not like her Bayside Bailey. That's why she's throwing up, because that's when she started to throw up.
I was not throwing up. I don't know what happened. I was like, all I heard was it just it sounds like that. I was like,
yeah,
probably just cleaning herself loudly again. Anyways, go on.
This is to you, and the rest of the people catch on. This game gets harder. Like, I was just throwing shit together and getting miggy with it was good. Maxed out was that, or whatever the hell they're all called. They were good. I've made a beer now that my IBU is not good. There's somebody that wants it, but it doesn't go to the person it's supposed to need to go to, and you have to add special hops that you get stupid money, but I was already starting to create random beers just to You can't. You have to buy what's on the docket. You cannot buy ahead. Because now, to make the beer that I need right now for my next project, I can't afford the hops. Because it's a certain, British style hops from whatever. I'm like, what do I do? I don't want to restart the game, but I may. But I'm like $5 short of buying the hops that I made.
How do you make it? Just by selling the other beers or what?
Yeah. But all the random other things are completed because I was like, I'll make this. You should do the ones that are necessity first before you do
the side projects. Yeah.
Because the side projects are going to lead you to buy bigger things. I'm now making 40 liters of beer. This one's only calling for 25. Well, fuck, guess what Mark did? He went and bought the 50-liter containers of everything.
So now you kind of screwed yourself on that. I'm 5 points
short buying the one hops. So now I'm really looking into it, and it worries about how much carbonation's in it, so that means you can't pour it as fast, or how fast you cool it.
Yeah.
It gets in depth, and I'm like, but it's still, it goes by days and spring, summer, fall. So you're in day whatever of summer. No clock. There is a clock running, but it means it's insignificant in the game. You get 3 tasks to do. Do the main one first and then do the other ones if you want to. You can skip over the other ones if you never want to do them. They'll come back up in the next time you get to spring, summer, or fall. I've been through many years, essentially.
Yeah.
Because sometimes 1 will come up, sometimes 2 will come up, sometimes 3 will come up, whatever. I'm just being an idiot. I'm like, making that sounds great. Because I want to use that bottle. I want to use that glass, or I want to use that type of cooler. And it's in depth. It's crazy. Again, don't quote me because I'm not paying you Jagalones anything. It's crazy what a $20, $24, $25 game. I thought it was going to be all right, pour this, mindless stuff just to keep me occupied. You have to watch the time and get it off exactly at 90 minutes. You have to make sure it hits 100 and stop it and fucking pull it off while the fire's still on. Because all that messes with your carbonation, your IBU, your SB and I don't even know what some of these letters mean.
Yeah.
So I paused that and I opened the animal shelter for a minute.
I just opened the animal shelter. I just opened up the animal shelter in the back room of this brewery while I wait for hops.
No, on the other hand.
Honestly, it would be if I would have won that $1.7 billion Powerball jackpot, I would have a brewery and then an animal shelter either on the same property or something along those lines.
It
as well.
take care of the whole family essentially there.
Well, yeah. Well, I hope with how much money's coming through, unless somebody's going down the rabbit hole or some shit. But
Yeah.
I would have bought probably a compound, brewery, animal shelter. People build your own houses, figure it out, and go from there, type thing.
I would buy whatever minor league team is struggling. And this just came this week. Whatever minor league team is struggling for, let's say, $2 million.
Yeah.
AA, probably have to be double A or up. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Double A or up minor league team that's for sale.
Yeah.
Buy them. Okay? I know my game plan is one and done. 1 year and done. The players, whoever I get from whatever team, cool, thanks. The promotions, though, that would be at this minor league baseball stadium, sellouts.
Yeah. Oh.
All the whole time. I would just go crazy with things. In like Altoona or Erie or someplace that.
Yeah.
Especially in like April and May when it's still snowing in both of those places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have like Taylor Swift probably come and do a concert. I have the money.
Just don't do a beer tasting in the middle of fall in any of those places. Just saying. I don't think it would go well. But
sounds like
you could do the Eras tour. Yeah, not from experience or anything. But you could do the Eras tour, show it on the big screen at one of the ballparks, get people in. There'd be a lot of people that would come in for that.
I know, because somebody's going tomorrow night.
Yeah.
In line to get a ticket to go watch a concert he already watched.
I'm going to be honest. If it was Foo Fighters and it was the one I saw in 2015, 100% there again. It was a great show. It was 12 hours long because it was a festival, but you also got Hart, Joan Jett, you got Buddy Guy, you had LL Cool J, which was randomly there, but it was all these people that had did their Sonic Highways.
It sounds amazing.
It was fantastic. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to, so I would watch it in a heartbeat again.
Billy Joel at Shea Stadium. It's out there. You can watch it, but
I saw Billy Joel it's in Pittsburgh or Cleveland. I can't remember which one, but it was the same year I saw Bruce Springsteen, Paul McCartney, and Tom Petty. I saw all four in 1 year. And April was Bruce and Billy Joel.
Billy was in Pittsburgh, was in Cleveland. All those places are easy for me, too. I now am angry I didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
He'll do one more.
I think he will. I think he's going to do one lap. I know the residency's coming up at some point in Madison Square Gardens, but I think he does one more lap and then calls it a career.
Yeah. So then I'll spend an exorbitant amount of money, because I'm good for that recently, to take care of that and go. I would be by myself.
Yeah.
I'll sing with the Piano Man.
Play us a song, Piano Man.
That's what I need to learn how to do too. So
piano?
I can Grammys. Any instrument.
That's there's an EGOT. Have you heard of the EGOT?
The hell is an EGOT?
Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and Oscar. So you get all four. So you got all the bases covered. Go TV, movie, obviously stage, and you got to learn an instrument. Go for it. Maybe you can get on the Eras tour.
Now that it's over.
It's picking up. There's round two because it's starting internationally, and then it'll come back around. So
yeah,
just need a break.
I'm sure she'll give me one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Ethan's invested enough money, so you're good.
Right. I hope she says more cowbell. That's what I would be playing.
That's your job. Just say more cowbell.
Want to go to wrestling?
Let's do it.
All right. Hot news for the week. You got any? I have one. I have two. I always lie. I have two this time.
Go for it. I'm trying to remember what I had.
They both happened yesterday for you guys. 1. I'm wearing it for a purpose tonight.
Yeah.
3 to 1s. God, do we need him back? I just hate to say it. I do like what the Bloodline's doing, some of this, some of that, but he's been gone for 2 months.
Yeah. He needs to get back.
It.
Yeah. It hurt. They're struggling without him.
So whatever happened last night that you guys already know that we're going to talk about next week, I have a prediction that I kind of talked about it last week. I think it's definitely setting up Cena, Roman over in Saudi. I really
I believe that.
Okay.
There might be somebody else that might be pulling up in Saudi. Because it was, I don't know if this was your second point, but I'll allude to this. There's the promotion of the Roman Reigns coming back tonight. Particular band called Rev Theory just retweets it and says, voices. Hearing voices.
Oh.
And if you know who Rev Theory is, they sing Randy Orton's theme song. And there was a report late in the afternoon. He's supposed to be back by Survivor Series, apparently. So, season premiere of SmackDown, is that what we're going to see? I don't know.
Possibly. That's a great return. That's a great return. My second one was we're going to have a WWE debut tonight, as we're recording last night for you guys, in a figurative type of role. And I'm excited about this, actually.
I like it a lot.
Because I think it only leads to then him going in the ring.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Does he take over? We're going to continue to hint. Does he take over SmackDown for Pierce? Is there some type of quarrel there?
Excuse me. I think that's where it's leading to, because I think he is a new authority figure, obviously, and I think they have to go SmackDown with him. But does Pierce take over Raw? Either would be the key. Maybe he doesn't, or maybe Pierce.
See, I do have number 3. Damn it,
yeah.
I do have.
Okay, but yeah, I think he wholeheartedly is taking over SmackDown, and will be.
Does he keep his name? I can't imagine.
I don't know what else they would call him, though. Because isn't Nick Aldis just his real name, right? So I guess you can't merchandise off of it. So his last name could be James at that point. Just take his wife's last name, and then maybe it's just Mick James.
Yeah, I don't know. But Nick Aldis may debut, is going to debut WWE soon, or did. And I'm excited about it. I've always been a Nick Aldis fan. I really have.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's Magnus or whatever.
Whatever the hell he was in TNA.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Magnus.
Magnus, yeah. So, that's my third hot topic, and it actually pisses me off. So let's go down this real quick to make Mark mad before we go on and talk to good things. Monday Night Raw is going to move off of Monday night.
I've heard that.
It's only called Raw anymore, but fuck. If you've been alive since the inception of it, you can call it Monday Night Raw or the War Zone or whatever you want to. I think that hurts.
It takes away from what it is, because that was for 30 years, it's been Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It's lived, breathed on Monday nights, and I think it's just we're getting greedy with our time slots, and we don't like the fact that we have to share the glory on Monday nights, but we're also probably prepping for a war at this point.
Between the two companies this week? Yes.
Well, and then I remembered what my hot topic was, so I'll just bleed it in here. Tony Khan going completely apeshit towards the end of the week and just calling people out, fucking losing his mind. Something leaked. Something's in his ear saying, you're in a war now. Like, it's full on assault at this point.
It really is. All right, so let's talk this through, because we're also TV producers and execs and everything. They're not going to be on Saturday or Sunday, so we're throwing those 2 days out the window. you don't put it against your own brand on Tuesday, right?
No, unless you have a desire to push that brand out of Tuesday night.
Okay.
But
I understand where you're going.
Let's go down your path here. You wouldn't push your brand because it's established Tuesday nights.
Right. And by the way. So you put it on Wednesday against Dynamite, but they've also already said there's a strong possibility that SmackDown's one, it's not going to be on Fox, it's going to USA, but it might not be on Fridays. What the hell are you doing? And I understand we'll watch it no matter what, whatever night it is, this, that, or the other. Stop, because guess what? At any point, I'm sure Tony Khan will say, oh, there's no wrestling on Monday nights anymore, and besides 17 weeks out of the year, I have Mondays to myself, and I'm going to take over Mondays when for 30 years there's been a wrestling. Why couldn't he move Dynamite? It eliminates more NBA games down the line. Yeah, you're fighting football during football season, but that's just it just happens on Mondays. The other 30-some weeks out of the year, you're running alone. And now WWE is signed for Monday Night Raw to be Wednesday Night Raw. And now you are stuck whatever business you're going to, because it possibly might not be on USA, because SmackDown's on USA now on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
There's maneuverable that there doesn't need to be a war.
No, there doesn't need to be, but I think
there's going to be.
Well, there's going to be, because I think that's what the higher ups at TKO are saying is, we need to eliminate your competition and get rid of it, because that's the only way we're going to succeed in their mind. I mean, they've already played a strategic game in getting Vince McMahon out of creative and out of everything. So, here, Hunter, 99.9% control. Take it, run with it. And that's about it. And they just basically said, well, screw you, Vince, which to that point,
good,
because he's a PR nightmare at this point. Terrible mustache aside. But then you look at, they create controversy. What creates more controversy than going right up against your competitor, slapping him in the face? NXT this week, I think I saw somewhere, did beat Dynamite in the ratings, in what it needed to do. That's giving them a lot of confidence. They know Raw's the bigger brand, so they're going to be like, well, we can win every week if that's the case. That's not necessarily the case, though. But I think they're playing too many games for what they want to do. I get the strategic positioning. I get you want to go after your competition. But your competition hasn't been your competition for about 4 years now.
Right.
It's literally two ships passing in the night, and you occasionally have pay-per-views that cross, or shows that might cross. Yes.
Because basketball or baseball or football or something, yeah.
Exactly. And on top of that, talent's been switching sides, but it's been a healthy competition. It hasn't been anything that's causing you distress. It's like saying JCPenney just needs to go after fucking Walmart or some shit like that because they're taking from each other. They're not.
They're not.
People are going to digest what they want, and a lot of wrestling fans are going to digest both because that's how they are. And let's be honest, ratings pretty much mean diddly squat.
Oh yeah.
Whether these companies want to believe it,
by the way. I
saw a couple things come through, but these companies that hang on to ratings like it's something that needs to be held on.
95.
Exactly.
Like when ratings meant. First of all, the ratings are never going to be like that again. I will throw this out there. They're never going to get 1.7 million, 1.58 billion.
They're not going to get 5 to 8 million every Monday night.
You're not getting that. If you're going to get 1 million, okay. So if you're going to tell me NXT, and I don't know the numbers, for God, I don't know the numbers. If NXT on Wednesday night got 1 million and AEW got 850,000, is that really that much? I know it's 150,000, but is it really that much of a difference? That is.
Exactly.
I'm recording one and I'm not watching the other. Or I'm a flipper. The time that you counted me is when I was on said show.
Yep, exactly. And to that point, think about it this way, and I speak from experience. If I was sitting down, I'm watching Dynamite live because I know I have Peacock and that carries NXT. So I can go pick up NXT at any point in time during the week. Or if I have unlimited DVR, my choices are clear. I could just walk away and not be there Tuesday night and say, okay, I'll watch Dynamite this night, back on Wednesday, and then I'll watch NXT when I get a chance.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm the anti-hero.
Right. But that's exactly it. People have the opportunity now, so your numbers will never be the same. They'll never be the pissing contest of pride that happens with these things doesn't need to happen, but you're going to have but it's going to happen. And wholeheartedly, it's happening right now with Tony Khan just going, he swallowed a bunch of pride, and now he's just going for it. He's tweeting, blasting, doing whatever he can, and it's wild to me that it's gone to this point. But again, when you feel threatened, you're fighting, you're flighting.
They both gave away a free half an hour, essentially, the first half an hour of both shows. I don't want to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
I want to just be, overshadow this real quick, I guess is the word I'm looking for. What did you like of the first half hours? And I don't want to be, let me put it this way. I don't mean it like that. What company did you like better first half hour?
I mean, there's a lot going on with both companies, but I gotta say, I was kind of digging Dynamite a little bit more just because there was a little more going. There was a match. There was a little more going on. It fit what I wanted to see in that first half hour. Yep. It wasn't the traditional, oh, it's a promo. Oh, because Cody came out. I'm glad that they announced it.
It was, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad Cody announced that. We'll get there. We'll get there. But if you're going to give me the choice between Swerve and Bryan Danielson and a promo, I'm taking Swerve and Bryan Danielson every day of the week.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, I know we haven't covered NXT in a while, and it may have slipped my mind. I need to go to the Performance Center.
Yeah.
That was, and again, this is because I haven't watched NXT for a while. All my NXT stuff that I've gotten has been clips, this, that, or the other thing. But I sat down and watched all of NXT this week. That is the indie crowd, and I'm not saying it mean or anything like that. That is the indie crowd that I love. That NXT crowd, and I know it was a big NXT, and it might not be like that all the time. I'll give it a couple weeks and then revisit it. This was fucking amazing from the crowd this week. I want to be there because it's so right next to everything. It was amazing.
It's so contained. It's even more contained than it was when it was at Full Sail. Because Full Sail, you remember, they had a lot more spread out, a little bit bigger space. This makes you feel like everybody's in at the ringside. It's literally a lumberjack with all the fans.
Yeah.
Just the way they have it built up. And I love the aesthetics of how they have the PC set up. The chain link, everything like that. It looks like it's like just a fighting ring of sorts. So atmosphere wise, you got to give it to the PC. You got to give it to NXT. But again, I mean, give it to Dynamite. They're still trying to fill arenas, big arenas, and we've seen pictures and all that stuff. So, and it looks like they're going to go smaller sizes to kind of make sense going forward.
Yeah, but, why do you say that, sir, Michael Jenks? Why do you say that?
I made it a point. I saw a lot of different smaller arenas pop up for live tapings, just around our neck of the woods, like just outside of my backyard.
Like a weekend
kind of thing.
Before the play happens.
Yeah, just right before the play happens, there's just, it just opens up in my backyard and just can walk down to the arena and just hope for the best. Not literally, but.
We have great seating, so we got him on pre-sale.
We got him on pre-sale. We have him for Collision, so it's a live TV taping.
Look out.
Us and 5 of our hooligan friends are going to be live, going for it, losing our minds. I will say this right now. watch out. I'll probably have on Can Crushers merch.
I'm making a brand new fucking top hat for that.
Hey, can we get some Santa hats on the merch site? Just saying.
Great idea. So, that's my hot topics. December 2nd is when we'll be in Erie. We'll be on Collision. There will be no, oh my God, you're just in the crowd. No, we will be on Collision.
We will be on screen. You should be able to pick us out of a goddamn crowd. Maybe actually, you know what? I get a bright colored Can Crusher sweater just so that we stand out a little bit more for that. Because I was looking at picking up a black one, but
yeah, I have to like a hot neon pink.
Yeah, pink or purple or something like that, just to pop.
I might have to dig deep into the funds and get the whole. What is there? 7 of us. Can we get our big heads made by then?
We should get big heads or like the big Can Crusher logo and just hold it up.
The budget, all of a sudden.
Has exploded. The budget's exploded.
All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to do our due diligence, though. Do you have anything else, by the way?
No, I just wanted to bring up the Tony Khan stuff and how he's just unraveling. Using his mother's surgery date, by the way, to unravel all of this.
That's a bit rough.
It's a bit rough. I understand. I kind of understand why he did it because it was 1 year ago, and this is when he found out people were being contacted basically illegally to come back. So,
yeah.
It's a sore topic, but yeah.
I'm getting tired of due diligence. Collar and elbow hats with these tees, all the cool stuff that Alex knows hooligans have a collar and elbow. Go and buy it and use our promo code.
Can Crushers get 10% off at collarandelbow.com.
Don't forget, we also have a WWEshop.com affiliate. It's in the show notes, and I'm pointing right where it usually is, but you can't see that. Click that.
Just like John Cena.
Except for you can't get anything.
No, you can't see it like John Cena. I was trying to say it, sneak that in there, but
yeah, that's coming.
You're good. I ruined the promo. I'll get out of here. I'll sit over here.
Buy some stuff for Christmas using our affiliate code. You might get a discount, you might not, but it will help us out. And if you love us, you'll help us out without doing anything besides buying Christmas presents or a new. By the way, Liv Morgan has a blanket out. Did you hear this story?
Not about a blanket.
Liv Morgan has a blanket out. Okay? She tweets out, "You can sleep with me." And that's it.
Is this in response, though, to the video that went kind of viral of the guy trying to pick her up and...
No, because she put her blanket, kind of like probably her affiliate code as well, because they all have them.
Well, no, I get that, but I mean, you might as well play off of what you got from that whole interaction, creepy-ass interaction last week. Like, guy, keep it in your pants, you fucking perv. But... I mean, you might as well play off of it and just say, well, now you can sleep with me. I mean, kudos to her. Let her get it out there. And
I hope she made $1 million this week.
I hope. Oh, I'm sure she did.
Her NIL deal. You can also buy our stuff, too. You go to our website, and there's Can Crusher stuff if you want to wear it when you go to Erie to see Collision and meet us and the rest of the hooligans that we're going to hang out with. That's also pinned in the show notes. Where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, all of those lovely podcasting networks, but also Podurama, where if you sign up for a lifetime membership, you get 50% off, and you can hear our lovely voices alongside those of Busted Open, Steve Austin's podcast, Talk with Jericho. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. All those other ones that fall in comparison to us, basically.
Yeah, they're not on IMDb, or they don't have a Tony gilded actor on it anymore.
Yeah, they don't have an EGOT. They don't have an EGOT actor.
I will never remember what the hell that is. CanCrusher69@gmail.com. You can drop us Ask Can Crusher questions for next week. That's going to be awesome. We love to Kidding Show is when you guys send questions in, or you can drop them in our DMs at Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, whatever. So, yeah.
Yep.
Good. It's enough.
Good.
Due diligence.
You did what you needed to.
Here comes Al Snow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, all you stupid Regions math breathers out there. This is Amanda. I'm Elijah Dean, and you are listening to Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, ladies and gentlemen, where I have a gift for Sir Michael Jenks that he has no idea, because one of my buddies that does stuff like this got us something. PSA'd, sir, for you, since we're talking about WWE, her win at the Royal Rumble.
No way. Are you shitting me?
Nope. There's the PSA dude, too.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're both the same thing. Mine and yours.
Well, that's fair, but Mark's is the size of a billboard, though. No, I'm just kidding.
Size of my head.
Too much. I mean, you do have an EGOT, so now you do have a reason to have a big head like that. But
it's pretty fucking awesome, isn't it? Those came in. I knew about them for a while, and I'm like, nope. Every time I say Al Snow is going to send us hoodies or something to the whatever, shit has not come in a year and a half. Okay. But a buddy is like, got something for Can Crushers. Since you always order from me, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. He's like, I want to take care of you and Michael. I'm like, okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, he didn't want any. He just said to say your buddy. I'm like,
that's
okay,
fair.
Dan, okay, Dan, I will.
Thank you, Dan.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I love the photo. I really do. By the way, I showed him a picture of Rhea Ripley after she won the Royal Rumble sitting on the corner. And it's signed. It's an 8x10 signed PSA, da-da-da-da-da. So,
yeah.
Everybody's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
For us to know. And you guys
Royal Rumble, who won the Royal Rumble? It's Ripley.
Which woman? There's been 5 of them. Yeah, I got to figure it out. Yeah.
Oh, a legit can on Can Crushers.
I had to crack, as soon as I realized I had to crack it, I'm like, I have to do it in the microphone.
Probably, is there anything on SmackDown? Because some stuff foreshadowed, but it was really...
I think a lot of it just set up what was to come the following night.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things...
But
nothing too crazy.
The best thing of the night, and people are like, oh my god, are you serious? The Unholy Reunion promo again. Oh, I can't fucking wait till they come back. I really can't. Dan, if that's somebody that we would both like too, by the way. People are like, who's this Dan guy? If you can get Unholy pictures, that'll be awesome. That needs to go up in the studio. But essentially that was it. I mean, you had Ray against Bob. Everybody was fucking out. You had LA Knight against Jimmy. Everybody was out. Theory and Dragon Lee was good, but is it setting up Theory against The Rock now? Is that where we're transitioning?
I feel like we're going to get... I don't know, because to me it screams that it's going to be like a Theory Pat McAfee type thing, because that's a feasible one, right? Rock, if he's coming back, it's only for Roman, and that's probably not going to happen. So now I feel like it's Theory and McAfee, and to me, they're letting them cook in that regard. You know, like the previous WrestleMania match, that's not what happened. It was what it was. But now it's going to be more letting them do their own thing under the Triple H creative brand. So I think that's where it's going. But when it's happening,
probably not
Survivor Series, but Mania, I don't know.
No way. Survivor. I don't think there's enough build for Survivor. I'm not throwing you under the bus. I don't think there's enough build for Survivor Series.
We still got like 8 weeks though.
But Pat's not going to show up every week. He showed up in Colorado because they were there, and he showed up in an Indy because that's where he lives.
To be fair, though, they can kind of push it without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but listen, I'm just being devil's advocate. He is a hell of a talker. I think him being there puts it then on SportsCenter. If he's not there, I don't think SportsCenter recognizes that he's going to have a feud with Theory.
Oh, well, 100%. They're not.
But his clip would make SportsCenter.
If he shows up, does that. College Game Day generates funds. Because now, let's be honest, they're playing the strategic game now. Maybe that's what they want and need. If you're going to start transitioning to, say, a Wednesday night, start these wars, to your point, you need to get advertising, marketing. We're bringing it back. It's month of marketing now. But you got to get them out there. It has been. But you're pushing it. So you're pushing Theory to this promo with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee's got his own show on ESPN. He's on College Game Day. To your point, he'd be on SportsCenter. Those clips will run 24/7. He's on First Take or whatever the hell they're calling it now. So there's a lot of possibilities that kind of drive that forward. So, yeah, you're probably right that they want that build. They want to take it to that next level.
By the way, I liked when it was called Cold Pizza when it first started.
I did like that too. Yeah, I thought that was unique and kind of cool.
Yeah. People are like, what? So, yeah, I don't even know where I was. Essentially, that was SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Just a build-up. All right, so we're going to transition over. Clearly, this is a WWE segment to Fastlane. No promo matches or dark matches or anything like that because there was only 5 matches on the card, which they did well. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm going to spoil it right now. I thoroughly enjoyed. Ooh, that's not a good face. What was that?
It was a good face. Well, I wasn't expecting it. There was a lot of pumpkin coming out of that beer.
Okay.
Usually I pour it into a glass.
Like a baby having your first pickle.
Usually I pour it into a glass and drink it, but I just drank it straight from the can, and straight from the can, it pops you right in the face, and you're just done. Sorry, guys. Distracting here. Whew. Okay, I'm good.
5 matches on the card. I think did really well. I thoroughly enjoyed this pay-per-view. I really did. As we break it down, we'll talk about all of that. I think, though, and this is across the board, I want pre-shows to go to half an hour.
Yeah.
Because they're just too long. I don't need 20 minutes of listening about Wade Barrett or RJ City talking about their deodorant or this, that. Come on, we can make picks in 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Do we? No. We have all the time in the world. We only get 3 hours a week, essentially. You have 24 hours a day, WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. They could get through these picks faster. Eliminate Sam Roberts. Maybe just have Booker and Wade Barrett and a host, Kayla, or whatever. There's too much going on. And I don't need to relive everything that you're going to make me relive on the pay-per-view, on pre-show. And I know, don't fucking watch the pre-show, Mark. Listen, I pay for it, so I'm watching it.
Well, no, I agree with you in that regard. The old NXT takeovers, they start pre-show 7:30 to 8. That's it. They covered everything you needed to know about the 5-6 matches they had on the card. They got you where you needed to be. There was no pre-show match. It was just prep, boom, picks, move forward, 8 o'clock showtime. If you're going to start moving to these 5-match cards, which Hunter definitely is, do that. Just keep it short, simple, and to the point. Because let's talk about this. Tony Khan in AEW, 0 hour, he's just jam-packing 5 matches plus whatever predictions and all that fanfare around it. The Wembley one, they may have had 2, 3 matches on the pre-show, and they had 2 hours that they didn't tell anybody that they were running 2 hours for.
First hour nobody knew.
Nobody knew about. And half the shit that probably would have been more exciting than what had happened in the ring happened on the pre-show that nobody knew about. So it's like, come on, guys. Keep it condensed, short and sweet. So to your point, half hour. We only need to hear Booker say shucky ducky one time in that time frame and then
we'll
go
get
from
to
there.
him shortly. We'll get to fucking him shortly. My God. That's why I don't watch NXT. All right. Fastlane now. Jay and Cody against the Judgment Day. We're 5 minutes into this match, and I hate these fucking cars on every replay.
Oh my God. That was my first note, was that fucking car noise. Whose idea was that? Who thought that? Because it's the fucking highlight comes in and then a fucking highlight zooms out. No, fuck you. I'm trying to lay there and watch wrestling, not listen to fucking auto racing.
I understand it was Indianapolis. I do. And I understand it's called Fastlane. And they were showing replays that night. Look at the headlock. Oh my gosh. He sneezed. Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Fucking A. I think they just liked the sound of the car at that point.
I hated it, by the way. I hated it.
Oh, I did too.
Cody and Jay control most of the match. You get a briefcase shot. You get JD. What did you think overall? First of all, you're pissed overall because you knew after match 1 that you lost.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that one. But overall, this first match overall, this was a great kickoff. I love that this was the kickoff match. It also gave that element of Damian might cash in tonight. But then you don't know because of the whole JD hitting him in the knee with the briefcase shot, like you're alluding to, then the fucking Cody cutter or whatever or the crossroads on the table, right. And then the modified 1D, the pinpoint accuracy on this 1D.
Oh my God.
From Cody, just nailing that just right, only to follow it up on Raw by almost flipping his neck and just being out of WrestleMania at that point.
One perfect 1-2. What are you doing?
He overshot or over-rotated or something, and he almost lost it. But going back to this was a great match to kick off. I was actually surprised Judgment Day lost. I thought they would pull like a weird thing where Jay looks untrustworthy or anything, but no. They pulled the trigger, let them win.
As you see then on Raw, they're not letting this cook.
No.
You see it already in Jay's face. This is not going to be a long title reign and or feud because more is going to happen.
Well, yeah, that's why they let him get drunk before the fucking press conference and then
no shit
yeeted them out there to have just let them have at it.
Overall, I love the match. My favorite part of the match, sans wrestling, when the referee raised their hand, he didn't know that he counted to 3. Like he just watching a referee when he raises their hand, he's like, "Did I actually count to 3?" His face was just like my face and part of the play. It was like dirt. He just had no fucking clue.
That's accurate. Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, that is accurate. I
no clue he was in that match. He just has 2 guys' hands up. I'm here.
And maybe he started drinking earlier than they did. You know, just they had to get through the match, and he was already 5 shots in.
Overall, you like the match?
I did like the match. I loved the match. That was a very good match to start it off and get the ball rolling for the night.
I'm going to throw all of these in one, and you're going to be shocked I'm talking about them. I hated everything to do with Pizza Hut. First and foremost, get ready because this will kill any sponsor ever. Pizza Hut's the worst pizza in my world. I don't like the sauce. I don't like the crust. I like nothing about Pizza Hut. Even as a kid, when you had your reading rainbow books and your take your family to party for birthdays and this, that, and the other thing, I either gave them to people or I didn't go. I just have never liked Pizza Hut. And it just rubbed me the wrong way, but I thought Wade, and it pissed me off, is essentially what it did. I thought Wade and Booker were going to actually do something. And then Xavier comes in and this was way too long. They order a pizza, and then 4 segments later, he's a fucking delivery driver for Pizza Hut, and he drops it off to Cole and Graves, and they eat it on camera. Oh, I don't, just, if you're going to do a promo like that, please have it recorded. Have it your 30-second, 45-second promo that you do during these live ones. Go bad quick.
They're rough. They're rough. Well, even the fucking placement during the match was Pizza Hut everywhere. Like, I couldn't see the fucking logo anywhere. I will say, I was away from Pizza Hut for a very long time before I started dating Kimberly. It's her go-to. There's some goodness there. I do like their wings and that, and I do enjoy slice occasionally. But then there was one time I got the stuffed crust, and it was just grease-filled on the bottom, and it tasted like absolute trash. So now you split the difference. But I agree with you. The live promos are kind of killing it. The dinner box on the desk, the delivery, I get that. No, let's not do. What are they going to do if there's a video game spot? If WWE 2K24 sponsors WrestleMania, let's say, are they going to play a match on it during WrestleMania?
So
they better.
Yeah. Because why aren't they using? Oh my God! I don't believe we're going down this path. Back in the day, like Old Spice.
Yeah.
Why are they? That's actually not the one I thought about, but I know they've never sponsored it. But Feminine Project product. I mean, like there's so many things that they could be using then. Like we have to get whole. Like, oh my God, Xavier Woods, you stink. You better get Old Spice Wooden Krejci or whatever their stupid names are. He's gonna go around like Rick Martel squirting people with Old Spice.
Old Spice arrogance at that point, but. They need to bring the guy back that just rides it on the horse and just be like Old Spice for men or Old Spice Swagger or whatever the hell it is.
Unless it's like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
No way.
Who's the other guy? Why not? They had delivered.
Terry Crews would.
Terry Crews might. Flex on people.
Bob and the Profits against Ray and Santos, and nobody knows who. Unless you were anywhere on social media Friday as we were recording.
Or had a brain cell. Because at that point, you're like, oh, it's pretty fucking obvious who it's going to be.
They gave him the win, though. Like, this is perplexing to me. Like, you're building Bob and the Profits up, and, all right, so they just took a loss, so you would expect them to get a bigger win and kind of then lose on Monday or Friday or whenever the hell they're going to lose again to keep the whole story going. But they got to win. They're done. They got like 3 losses in a row. Bob should just beat the shit out of them last night, or as we're, recording. Like, they should be eliminated from anything, right?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I wrote down notes because you had Dawkins smiling. You wrote down notes. Well, because my process going through this is I went in apparently with the match of, well, this is how the Street Profits lose whatever deal they have with Bob, right?
Right.
And I'm looking at it, Dawkins, when they're walking out, the only one smiling, the only one that looked like, he just wasn't taking it seriously. Then you had 4 taunting people left and right during the whole fucking thing. It's like Bob can sit there and say, you can't take this seriously. You're too busy showboating yourself to have any sort of usefulness whatsoever. So they would go into, the kit and caboodle. They would go down, that's where I was going to. And I'm like, okay, so are we seeing Trick and Carmelo on Friday night going to debut? Who knows? But you know what I mean? It's like they were doing too much and they were too excited or too much about themselves that they kind of cost themselves roles on this team that Bob's assembling. That was the majority of my notes besides, Carlito showing up, but.
Right. And it's selling something between Ray and Santos. What does this do for Carlito?
Is he? Well, no. Let's go off of that.
He's been back for 3 months and just didn't have anything to do with him. So they got rid of Joaquin Wilde and the other guy, which I always forget his name.
Yeah.
So they could. Oh fuck! We have Carlito that's been doing nothing, not even main event.
To that point, does he become the catalyst to get Ray out type thing? Is he the one that gets in their ear to say
title and Santos gets screwed again?
Well, maybe, because let's play off that. He's starting to get in their ear. He convinces them, hey, I should be your leader. Don't worry about Ray. They help him win, and then we get into a different whole other thing. Because at some point, we need a blow-off between Santos and Ray again. We had a one-off match, but there needs to be something else. But there's got to be a reason Carlito is in this group, and I don't think it's just to be the side character to Rey Mysterio.
No.
It just feels like it is going with Carlito needs to be the center of attention. So this is Carlito's chance to do that.
Yeah.
He's going to usurp the group.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Clearly. Overall, I did like the match. Ray got the snot kicked out of him until Carlito, and Santos did too, by the way.
Yeah.
Carlito gets a hot tag, and then he comes in like Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, pick whoever cleans people, and that was Carlito. Yeah. I thought it was a little bit too much for Carlito as well. Like, he was given that guy.
He was given the Hall of Famer legend status of that instead of just like a legend kind of thing. Because he came in there and just completely wiped the floor with everybody.
Yeah. November 4th is Saudi, as we talked about last week.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we knew the date was being actually talked about or whatever, but it is. So that'll be like a noon. Listen, it's not being watched.
It's an afternoon. We're not watching it.
Well, not live. I'll put it that way.
Not live. We'll watch it, but not live. Yeah.
That's the Pitt, Florida State game, even though probably shouldn't watch that either.
Just want to be a little bit sadomasochistic about it. That's about it. You know, nothing too crazy.
So yeah, we get the replay that we saw legit a half an hour ago that Jade showed up. Now she shows up again to WWE, and that's all we got of her then. Like, I was shocked that she wasn't seen sitting ringside or anything. Like, she's like, oh, she's here. She could have been there for 5 fucking hot seconds, jumped back in her limo and left. And I think that's what she did.
Oh yeah, I think they played it up like it's a star, you know, da-da-da-da-da. They're giving her the absolute star treatment, which they should have been. And I think they're doing this right with her. But she was literally there to say, I'm just watching you schmucks do stuff, but literally probably like, okay, this outfit is way too cold. I need to go back to my hotel and put on actual clothes. Because there's nothing to that. She's got the bod to rock it, but there's nothing to that. We're not talking, but it's
You're
cold.
In Indianapolis in October at like 8 o'clock at night.
Put a hoodie on. Hoodie and pants. That's hoodie and pants weather. Perfect scenario for that. But, yeah. So.
And then, fast forward, she does the same thing in NXT with Sean. She meets Sean instead. But when does she actually, when do you think she actually is in the crowd? Or makes her, I don't call these debuts yet. These are still the vignettes. When she make her debut?
I think she's going to be in the crowd on both season premieres of SmackDown and Raw. And then I wonder if the debut match is Survivor Series, maybe. Because it's not going to be Saudi. They're not going to get her to Saudi in that. I think it's got to be Survivor Series. There's going to be a month or so play up. She'll have a promo. Eventually she'll have a promo probably after the Saudi shows. Exactly. Or somebody's going to call her out, like, why are you getting all this attention? And then we're going to move it to Survivor Series.
Yep. Which leads us to the Triple Threat Women's match that we both got wrong. and we're both okay that we got it wrong.
Yes.
I didn't expect it to go this way, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And there's one spot that I had to make note of. Several. But I love the different twist instead of the suplex from the powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it was. Probably was it Io on Flair's shoulders, and then Asuka powerbombed both of them.
Yes.
And drop, or was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Io that did the powerbomb, and Asuka was on his shoulder. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was a different spin. I was like, oh, that little bit was so much better than the same suplex from a powerbomb.
Your traditional, like, fucking tower of pain type thing that they, yeah. Well, I wrote that in here. I'm like, a new version of it that actually looked like it hurt than the standard, like you were saying, the standard one's so the spot's overused in general.
Oh, yeah.
But this one looked like it was different, looked like it hurt, looked like there was something more to it, which really was needed, and I appreciate that in the match. Also, I thought it was great. We got the mist right at the beginning of the match to kind of just get it out of get it out of the way, get it done. It got it back to the normal WWE way of doing triple threats of 1 versus 1, but it was not almost, but it had a feel of Shawn kicking Hunter in that triple threat with Cena type thing right at the beginning of the match to just eliminate him, get it out of the way.
I liked the figure 8 moonsault spot too.
Yes.
To end it, I was like, oh, because listen, predetermined whatever you guys want to say. That's just a crazy spot. And I know Charlotte, once she kind of gets touched, can let go and let some of the cushion and bounce and everything be there. She doesn't let go at the right time. Her fucking elbows are inside her asshole.
Yep.
So not perfectly. And
there's got to be a way that you hold position where your knee doesn't just get ripped out of your socket, because your legs are locked in a certain way. So if you get hit in a certain way, your leg could instantly just break at that point. So there's a lot of talent that goes into, or at least planning that goes into, okay, I have to let go at this exact second so that I know Io hits me perfectly in the chest. You have to trust Io to be spot on, which she usually is.
Right.
With the moonsault.
She's the Sky Princess or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Queen of the Sky or whatnot. But I will say this.
You would think I don't watch wrestling, but I don't know all their fucking
You know
gimmicks.
what? We should do a segment of, I don't watch wrestling, but I'm going to say what I think these moves are and see what happens. But that's different time for a different place.
That's Kimberly's.
But that might be Kimberly's. We'll get there. But I have to comment, though, that was a beautiful moonsault. But I have to say it again. These moonsaults to the outside look like they're just missing people left and right.
It didn't look like it.
Nobody was touched. Nobody was touched by either moonsault that happened to the outside.
The only thing, the ground was touched.
It wasn't touched by an angel, that's for sure. Just lands.
Charlotte's missed by 5 feet, and I'm not lying about that.
Charlotte's always missed by 5 feet, and I don't know if it's because she's just taller than people that it doesn't hit, or they need to figure out how to back it up because she's so athletic that she's just overshooting people. I don't know.
Yeah, the adrenaline has to kick in, and and that's not that I know of. And I'll pull the curtain down for a second. That's not a move that you practice. Like, you don't want to say, hey, let's go practice the moonsault move off the top rope, because if you practice it and you get hurt, guess what? Now you are not in the match.
Yeah, you can't practice it. Well, it's like when Mick Foley said, we didn't practice the Hell in a Cell spot. We just said, we're going to go up there and do it. You just kind of do it and hope for the best. You know it's coming, but
right.
I feel like with the competitors in the ring, they both had matches with her in WWE. You know where that distance is. But again, every match is different, and if you're not going as hard in this match as you did in like a WrestleMania match, the shooting, it's always a crapshoot. Yeah, exactly. So you have to take the under and hope for the best.
However, as much as we just shit on it right there, I enjoyed this match. I think
I agree. It was a great match.
We didn't get people sleeping, as we always say. There was always something going on. Yeah, somebody might have been lingering on the outside, but it wasn't for that 15, 20 minutes that we've seen before. So it was a good triple threat match.
Agreed.
Seeing an LA Knight against Jimmy and Solo, this is where McAfee shows up. I don't like these NFL legacy titles. I'm sorry, I don't.
There's no real good one that's making me want to buy it. Even the Buccaneers one,
but it's not.
It's no longer there. Yeah, I was going to try to make a comment about that, but maybe that's why he's upset.
He's also upset because we know the next two WrestleManias, by the way.
Yeah.
We know England is 41 and Indianapolis is going to be 42.
42.
Why does he say that? Did he get to, I haven't read any feedback about this week. So if you guys know anything, post it, whatever, if it's already not been posted, because I haven't been really checking out what Camilo has been posting for us, which is amazing. But I did see that like one day he put 20 different stories up. And I'm like, yes, thank you. I don't have to do anything with social media, at least Facebook. Was that Pat just going off script, or was that a leak? You don't say that. You don't come to Erie next week and say, man, Erie really needs a WrestleMania. Do they?
I think
on the yacht.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, the yacht's probably the only place they could put it. Don't want to put it at the stadium, that's for sure. But I don't think it was a slip. I think Indy has the capacity to do it. It's indoors. You know.
Yeah, because they weren't at the football field Monday night. They were at.
They were at. Yeah. They were.
They weren't where the Colts play. They were where the Pistons play.
Right.
The Pacers.
Right. So they were at the field house. So
yeah.
Lucas Oil Stadium, it's perfect size. Well, this is where I'm like, okay, when are they going to start going to like Indianapolis, Minnesota? Even though Minnesota, yeah, it's butt crack cold there. It's also U.S. Bank Stadium.
You're not going to have it on Twins Field.
Exactly. It's in the middle of the dome. It's a beautiful dome. You can do a lot with that, right?
Right.
So I think it is going to happen in Indianapolis, and I think with Pat McAfee, that's what pushed it to happen in Indianapolis. Because I guarantee you, before Pat McAfee, they didn't want it in the fucking middle of Indiana.
No.
Nothing against the people in Indiana, but that's just not where they wanted it to be at.
It's always been, for the most part, it's always been a warmer weather recently. Yes, in WrestleMania 1 and 3 and stuff like that, it's been in Michigan but it was in the Silver Dome, or it's in Chicago, Rosemont Horizon. They want them in huge ass stadiums now.
Right.
They tested it out a few years ago when it was in New York. I don't think you get it at places like Fenway Park. I mean, they're doing it. What's coming to Arizona next year, SummerSlam, where the Diamondbacks play? Royal Rumble, actually. I lied.
No. Rumble was this year. It's going to Tampa next year.
Okay. Whatever. It was this year.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're going to get those ones like in baseball stadiums. Football stadiums clearly hold more people. Is where you're going to get the meat and potatoes of your WrestleManias from here on out. What would be cool if, and I think we've talked about this months, maybe a year ago, you get into many of these college stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, you're not ever going to get the big house in Michigan. You're not going to get Beaver Stadium.
You're not going to go to Columbus. Yeah.
Not even Tennessee in April.
You're not going to Alabama in April either.
No.
Let's be honest there. But yeah.
You can get the Rose Bowl. You can get any of the University of Texas and everything. They throttle AT&T Stadium. Anything like that. What's the one? The Orange Bowl in Florida. That's what they want. But you always play it might fucking rain in April, wherever we are.
Tampa, perfect example. They had a rain delay for 45 minutes, and we were blessed with Samoa Joe and a rain poncho for night one. It
wasn't just a rain delay. It was a fucking
monsoon delay. Yeah. But that's the price you pay with those outdoor venues. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to start experimenting with these indoor dome-like stadiums. Like, they're not going to avoid going back to New York. It's going to happen. New York's going to happen again. MetLife's going to happen. They're going to go there. But, like, when you're in the middle of winter, you're going to be like, well, we can at least open it up to say, okay, we're going to go to Minnesota.
Perfect. Yeah.
We're going to go to Detroit because it's Ford Field. We're going to go to these different places because they're enclosed, maximum capacity. We can make this work. Places like Philadelphia, I really think this is a one and done for at least 10 years for them, if not more. Because
it's 40. So
the last time they had WrestleMania in Philadelphia, I believe it was WrestleMania 15, if I'm correct. So they're still going to show up at the arena, but they're not going to go to a stadium to try to build that out because then this played into our decision of do we go, do we not? Philly, beginning of April, it's 45, maybe 50 degrees if we're lucky. Tops. Rain usually around that time, if not snow, because we still get snow sometimes in April. We've gotten it as late as May before. So you're taking huge risks when you play in these stadiums like that. So, but don't be surprised if they start experimenting with other ones, like maybe Bank of America has a stadium in Charlotte. You know, that's a warmer weather. It's a big stadium. Can they make it work? Yeah, and if they're going to Wembley, that's an open fucking stadium. In London, that can get very cold and can get rainy as well. So there's going to be a lot of experimentation going on.
So everybody's like, when the hell are they going to talk about CNN on LA Knight against Jimmy Solo?
We already talked about it. We're moving on.
Yeah. It was a match. And I hate to say it like this because all four of them are amazing. But it was, and I hate to say it this way, it was a Cena match. Right?
It was a Cena match. I will say I did enjoy LA Knight getting the bigger pop than Cena to start the match. I thought that was cool. But You're right. It was a Cena match where you fight from the ground up. LA Knight got the hot tag. It was what it was. And yeah, it to me at the beginning of the match, it's a foregone conclusion, so I can't get excited about it because I know even though it's the bloodline, this is not full strength bloodline. So it's
actually on paper, it's only one member of the bloodline.
Yeah.
Jimmy may not be.
Exactly. And now after he lost this match, he's definitely not going to be, right? So
last night.
You will find out last night. So I think it's just was what it was.
Yeah.
It was, but we come to expect this from the WWE's proclaimed GOAT.
Yeah. GOAT's been ridiculously used since he made his return.
It's been overused.
That's why I always think it's going to be that. It's Saudi. But we get the Judgment Day in the back. Talking about Chill Pill, they lost the titles, they'll regroup. Priest is ready to cash in. And again, there's no leader. But Ripley says, don't do it tonight. Which for me is like, let's fucking go!
Yeah.
Thought he was going to do it. Because they always do that in WWE.
Do that. They always play that.
Finger got me.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yep.
Spoiler, he does not cash in. As you've watched Raw as well. I'm glad we're going to end with this match and then start with Seth Rollins on Raw.
Yeah.
Loved this match. This was holy shit. But again, I hate the fans because 3 minutes into the match, they want tables. There are so many more things than tables. Why is tables get the biggest pop? We've had this conversation. Why is tables the biggest thing anymore?
I don't know. And it's weird because to me, it only happen. I only pick up on it at WWE events.
I do too.
Like, they could be beating each other with chairs and all this, but people just keep screaming about tables, tables, tables. And maybe because that's the one spot that pops the most out of, you can see some guy get hit with a chair multiple times, da-da-da-da-da. But when you go to AEW, you got guys spurting blood, you got fucking losing kidneys somewhere. You know, Mox is bleeding every fucking time he walks through a door. So, depending on your crowd, you're like, well, we need something, so give us a fucking table at this point. I just think it's crowd preference because they're like, I need something to pop to. You know, I don't know. That's what I take away from it is fans are just clamoring for something that they can visually sink their teeth into and see actually look like it was painful.
A hell of a battle. I'm reading a note.
Yes.
The Mist, how much did Nakamura have in his mouth?
It was so fucking much.
It looked like Michael Myers was fucking there. He got in half.
It looked like he slit his throat. He was just fucking everywhere.
Did he add extra, like, I don't know when he put it in. I didn't see it. I don't care. I'm not going to go back and look for it. So it got me that he did it there. Did he take a drink with it to kind of, like, dissolve it faster or something? Normally, it's just put it in your mouth, it dissolves. Yeah, it's gross, people. You're a little bit of spit.
Yeah.
You save it up, and then you just... and enough comes out. He looked like he drank a 2-gallon bottle of fucking spring water.
And then spit it everywhere.
He could have put out a fire.
Well, you know...
the most mist I've seen in forever.
You know, the Great Muta gave him that mist. So it's...
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, right. He put in 2 tablets. He went for it.
The Falcons Arrow on the mattress gets the win. And then I knew once he didn't go back to the ring, he just backed into the crowd. I'm like, ooh, yeah. Because that would have been the time
to do it.
Because now I think they're, I don't know, I think they're stuck.
They don't have any.
I want you to go ahead and we'll wrap up Fastlane. Because then my peppiness leaves real fucking quick.
But no, I agree with you. There's only one shot in recent memory, unless that's a part of maybe a War Games coming up, or there's a diabolical attack going to happen. It just seems like it's not. It almost feels like Damien's not cashing in as long as he's a part of Judgment Day.
Right.
Because I feel like that's the fast come up here. So we're just kind of like, oh, well, okay, he's got Money in the Bank for a long period, which is great. We haven't had somebody with Money in the Bank before, and we bitch about it every year that, oh my God, they've cashed in Money in the Bank within a year. So now there's a plot point that carries finally. But to your point, if not now, when? When are they going to pull the trigger? Because you've talked up Seth's back. You've talked up him being injured. You're going to put him against Drew. Are you planning for Ben to do it? I don't know. I don't feel like he's going to be that injured in the Drew match. It's one of those things, or maybe they just felt like, well, we showed Seth falling on the mattress off the side of the stand, so maybe we can't do it on this night because we were protecting him. I don't know. But maybe it's for Drew.
Overall, I'm getting there. You're getting there, and we're both ready to explode, I think. Overall, would you give Fastlane?
I'm going to go 4.5 beers.
That's exactly where I was. I enjoyed it. It wasn't
I did enjoy it.
any of the best, but it was 5 matches.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's where WWE has the nuts. We love 59 matches in AEW, but again, at hour number 4, at midnight on a Sunday, you're pretty beat. 5 matches. I don't want to see this for your biggest pay-per-view. Like, if WrestleMania rolls out to be 5 matches, I'm like, well, thank God we're not paying for it anymore. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
AEW throws out a Double or Nothing with 5 matches at $50. I'm like, what? Not happening.
No.
I'm not paying $50 for 5 matches. A throwaway pay-per-view, which I will always call Fastlane, 5 matches, 4.5. Because everything meant something. There was not a lot of nonsense. It kept me thoroughly engaged, live, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Off the computer as I was hunting or playing baseball or whatever. But it was there. I made sure I watched it. So that's a good 4.5.
It's a very good 4.5. I mean, it's engaging. And to your point, there's not a lot of filler matches. There's not a lot of these 6-minute, oh, hey, here's a quickie because we wanted to just get Dana Brooke or somebody online. And that's not knock to her. It's just,
right. It was just,
we just had to throw a filler in there because we wanted to get a maximum amount of matches on there. But this is what I like about takeovers. There's 5 matches. It was a simple card. You get through it. To your point, the bigger pay-per-views, like, well, essentially only WrestleMania and SummerSlam should have multiple matches. Some WrestleMania itself, 6, 7 a night.
It's 2 nights now.
You could get away with the.
We're looking at when WrestleMania was WrestleMania.
Yeah. And one night, not a buy one get one, but you have 7, 8 matches you could tell a story with because it's a longer period of time. But these other pay-per-views, you only need to have 5 matches to really tell a story and get where you need to go because you're giving away a lot of it on free. I will say this, I wish your Intercontinental titles were defended or these mid-card titles were defended on these pay-per-views, but I digress. I'm an old man yelling at the sky at that point.
So we transitioned to Monday Night Raw, and for the first 15 minutes, I am livid. Why am I livid? Seth Rollins is 100% fucking okay.
Yep.
Nothing is wrong with him. Not a taped shoulder, not a gauze. He didn't get it. He didn't bleed, but he was fine. About 10 minutes into his promo, he's like, I'm a little bit sore because I had a match Saturday. I'm paraphrasing.
In my back.
You had a last fucking man standing match with the king of strong style, and you have a broken back. Shouldn't you, if me and you wrestle, okay, me and you are going to wrestle, I break your back in the match because I have an EGOT. I break your back. You end up keeping your title. Next month, Moochie comes, beats the shit out of you. You end up winning. Here comes Cody, or Donnie Bambino is ready to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you are going to have injuries. Because I'm also going to spin this. Last pay-per-view, Seth begged to be on the show. I need to be on Monday Night Raw. I need to defend this title. I'm a fighting champion. This Monday, man, I wish I had a break. You're the fucking champion. Take a break. You have 30 days to defend it. Don't say you're a defending champion then. Don't defend it. Say, hey, I'm fucking taking 30 days off. Get your back right. The story for me is not lining up now. It is really, and I'm going to throw it your way, my fucking phone is going crazy, is now lining up to the whole Adam Cole thing, just that you said, and we'll get there to that. But yes, Seth's back is Adam Cole's ankle.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, let's play a little bit psychology with this, what you just said there, right? He's not selling it. There's no selling of it. There's no story there. It's, oh, my back does hurt a little bit. Nothing's carrying over, whatnot. Think about it this way. The one of the aspects that AEW does right is a lot of good storytelling. And we have been indoctrinated with Orange Cassidy progressively putting tape on all of these injuries during the international title run, where it finally culminated where he was so injured that he lost to Moxley, right? So now we're coming back, and we go look at WWE. They're operating as if Mark is on the play on stage. That's how they're operating as of whatever happened in that last act. It's a brand new act, so I'm a brand new person, and I feel nothing at this point. That's how they're acting. So to me, you see the difference of we're portraying fighting versus we're actually trying to fight or give the illusion that everything is happening, right?
Right.
So I think we understand you can tell a story about a fucking back, a shoulder, a wrist. It can be done on a week-to-week basis and be a fighting champion. And now we look at WWE and we're like, well, I'll call that bullshit all day long because he's not fucking...
He's fucking dancing.
He's dancing. He's fine. He's moving around. If it was me, I'd have a limp. I'd be acting like Jesus. I would be Roddy in the wheelchair and scream, Adam, and get somebody to push me down to the ring. Get Adam Pearce, push me down to the ring or something. Make it work.
Just tape ribs, dude. That generic tape ribs
is enough.
But he had bedazzled goggles.
Sometimes that's all you need. Makes the world just go away.
So we're going to him and Drew at Crown Jewel?
Yeah.
Is that where Priest does it then? Because maybe they don't want the U.S. to give it the pop? I don't know this as a fact. And this is my man that'll back me up. Usually at Crown Jewel, a title changes hand, right? Something, whatever.
Something happens.
Something. Is this the title that changes hand at Crown Jewel? Because Priest does turn then and cash in and takes on. Because then it starts a completely different feud. Mm-hmm. Seth can be away, and you'll have Priest and Drew going for a month or so until.
Yeah, and I feel like it is because I don't think Saudi's ever seen a cash in it, whatever shows have been there, so why not give them that bone to chew on? But to your point, it also prolongs the story of Drew keeps coming so close to getting something, and then it gets ripped away from him again.
Yeah.
The Riddle situation, they were building up something that got ripped away from him. So he's just gotten frustrated. He's not saving people. He's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's finally got to that point. So that would be one more extension of that, and it would help push the narrative, turn him into the anti-hero, and really take on Damian Priest there. I mean, that's kind of where it's bleeding into. And maybe Priest does it against Mommy's advice.
I'm thinking that was a twist to come.
Yeah, he's the rogue one right now. He's going to end up being the rogue one here that keeps pushing back on her.
Yeah, and then JD takes his spot.
Yes.
Then it's all them against Priest.
Yep.
And Priest will be, hopefully, Punishment Martinez then. And it could be my cousin again. Right now, he's not my cousin.
No, you can't claim him. You can't claim him at all.
Then we just go downhill. I'm mad the first 15 minutes. Listen, I'm going to rifle through this. You can bring up your own stuff. Kofi and Ivar in the Vikings match. I've seen it. I don't like it. Shinsuke talking about Fastlane or not, and then we get Rico fighting him. Priest jokes
Rico
out.
Came back?
You know who I mean.
I know.
Priest choking out JD, calm your asses down. Raquel and Nia is then essentially broken up to become Ripley and Shayna, which I'm okay with. I really am okay with. Cody and Jay leads to later on. We get Ricochet against Reed and Gable. Damn it, this actually made me mad, but then I was happy. I was really pulling for Gable.
Yeah.
And then big, by the way.
Big.
Gets the IC title shot. I'm going quick, and then we can divulge once you get into yours.
Yeah.
Becky talks about Tegan, Barrett and TIY gets jumped. That pisses me off. Tegan and Becky was a great match. I did like that. I really did. And then KO and Sammy against Cody and Jay. Never in my thoughts were they getting the titles back. And next week is season premiere. So what do you want to dive into? That's Raw in a nutshell for me. It entertained, but it was
It was something to get us to the season premieres, because we know there's going to be a lot of big things coming up on these season premieres. Speaking of which, while I talk, I'm going to turn that on.
Speaking of which,
I
don't have mine on either.
I just realized what time it was. John Cena is starting the match. But
Sorry to miss it.
no, he just got to the ring on mine. He's probably been talking for the past 5 minutes on yours.
Why
couple
does
things.
the station turn on?
I don't know. A couple things on my end. I'm still trying to figure out why the hell Ludwig Kaiser gets a fucking promo before the main event. Guys, if you've seen it, you've seen KO reacting to it, and it's just like, why does he fucking need this? I think the women's title match right now is a fatal 4-way. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't know what's going to happen between those 4 women. It just feels like a cluster about to happen.
I think. Are you talking about Becky? By the way,
No.
stepped away because the PlayStations. I want the TV on, but the PlayStation turned on, so I have to turn the PlayStation off. I
recap the 2 points I brought up so far is I don't understand why the fuck Ludwig Kaiser got a goddamn video package. And KO was right questioning that. The second thing was, I feel, and he's leaving again, so he won't even know. Like I said, guys, the second thing was the fatal 4-way. It's leading to a fatal 4-way women's match for the title between Raquel, Nia, Shayna, and Rhea. Because I think they're just trying to get people through Rhea at this point to whatever the next step is. Or whatever her next stepping stone is. I don't know what the game plan is, but that just seems like what it is.
To be Rhea?
Well, Rhea's gonna win, is gonna retain the title in this fatal 4-way match with whatever it is, but they're just fast pacing through it.
They really are. And it's almost like they don't care what happens at this next one, because are they fast pacing Jade Cargill?
They could be.
By the way, if you can hear in the background, Roman's here.
I see that. I'm watching it right now. So we are...
I hooked up the new TV and I put the sound bar on it. People are like, Jesus Christ.
I could hear the sound bar.
Yeah. The sound bar is a bitch to turn down. Like, this little remote sucks.
You don't have a program to your other remote?
It won't fucking connect. Trust me. I'm a nerd. I tried. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well, it's like to point it out that it sucks every once in a while. But yeah, I was just covering the women are fast pacing towards a fatal 4-way. I'm distraught because I don't understand why Ludwig Kaiser needs a goddamn video package. And I'm excited for Bronson Reed and motherfucking Gunther for a match.
That's where we were going to get to. Is it Bronson Reed? We haven't predicted Bronson Reed ever because they've not let the poor bastard cook.
Yeah.
Is it Bronson Reed?
Maybe, but it just seems so random and out of left field. But again, you're putting 2 heels against each other. So I feel like it might be, and let's tie it back to the Kaiser package.
Be good.
That's where that's exactly kind of where I'm hinting at is, let's tie it back to the Kaiser package. Why would you showcase a subordinate member of Imperium if there wasn't going to be a split?
Right.
So, to your point, I think maybe Gunther's going to be a good guy. And maybe he might team up with Gable at some capacity. I'm still holding out hope here, but there's a way.
With Gable. You are dead.
I think that would be a fantastic duo. I'm not saying they're going to be tag team champions, but what I say is...
Why not? Everybody else is.
Well, that's true. But what I'm saying is get them into an alliance where it's something like a one-upsmanship kind of allowance. Just get them in that scenario.
$5.
Yeah. If I could get money, that'd be fantastic. But I don't know. It's just weird how now we have these two things pop up. Bronson Reed's challenging for the title. Ludwig's getting his own promos. It's like, the fuck is going on around here? Like, Imperium's now imploding.
Done.
It just fast tracks for some reason.
That's Raw. I mean, what else?
There's nothing else.
I did like Tegan and Becky. It was a great match. And then there's a callback on NXT, which let's cover that essentially real quick. I mean, I did watch it all, but I wasn't completely focused. Beginning, middle, end is where we're kind of go. Cody comes out. By the way, this is what sold NXT for me. Everybody sang the whole song for Cody there.
Yeah.
And again, that was kind of like an indie thing for me that I love. The announcement time, this was spoiled weeks ago. I don't know why this was an announcement. That the men's were getting their own breakout thing.
Oh, but
after the women. No shit.
You gotta give Cody something to announce so that they can drive up the numbers.
And then Cody announces his dad's tag team tournament's coming back, which, listen, it should have never left. I don't care that it was on AEW or anything. It should have never left. And then he makes a match because he's the fucking general manager, which is a good match, but he's general manager and a lot of shit happens. LA Knight's a special referee. Yeah, let's go to the main event. Let's go to the Dom Dragunov match is what I meant. LA Knight refs in jeans, shit kickers, a vest, a tank top referee shirt, and sunglasses. Everybody comes out. Dragunov keeps his title. And I'm skipping over because the match was a good match and everything. But NXT this week was story driven. To come back next week.
Story driven to promote next week, right? Appearance driven to get you just watched this week. But I gotta give kudos to Knight. You don't normally see the guys who are refereeing just come out in their normal street clothes and attire. I know you weren't, but I enjoyed it because I'm like, okay, we're getting the personality. That's how it should be. It should be their personality comes out and they have a swatch of a fucking referee outfit somewhere on their body, right? And just keep it going forward. It was the best way they could do that. And again, the match just slapped, as the kids say. It slapped.
Slapped. I don't. All right. The first match of the night, and it's only because I have a note by it. It was a great match as well. I put, man, this is why I don't watch NXT. And I put a big T. I can't stand a shucky ducky every match, or this or that, or Joseph's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Put somebody else. Give Sam Roberts a job. I don't fucking care, Marv Albert, me, whoever, somebody a job that's going to talk wrestling with them. Booker is, in no disrespect to either of them, Dusty went off on tangents when he was announcing as well, with either JR or whoever. I never thought Dusty Rhodes was a great commentator. If you would have sprinkled him like we did with Moxley here and there, but when it was Dusty just screaming, pizza pan, fist to the face, he was a mockery. That's essentially what I think Booker T is. Like, I don't like his style.
Yeah.
It's the best way of putting it. It's just, the Roxanne and Asuka match was fucking slapped then too, if that's the thing.
Right.
I did enjoy that. Asuka remains undefeated in NXT, but she doesn't win because this was Roxanne, even though she was NXT champion for a hot second, this was her true coming out to people that have stepped away like me and you for NXT. This match was awesome.
Yeah, it was very awesome. And that was a good point. I didn't even think about that because I was sitting there like, you would think they'd put Roxanne over, giving her the win on Asuka. I did not put 2 and 2 together. She's still undefeated in NXT. She has never lost. And I'm sure they probably mentioned it a couple times, but it was just whatever. Yeah. But it never clicked before the match that was coming up. But to your point about Booker, I've never liked him on commentary. Even early 2010s, this is where you start. I think if they could get Pat back full time, you move Wade or you move Pat to NXT. Maybe Pat, because it's a controlled environment. This might work with his schedule. Yeah, it makes sense. You move Pat to NXT, have him just come in on Tuesday nights, do the taping, get him back out. Then you can have Wade on SmackDown and that. And
good travels. That's probably harder for Pat.
It probably is harder for Pat to travel. So have him come to a centralized location, take him there, take him back out. Perfectly fine. I think for Vic, in his own right, he is the next in line for Michael Cole's spot. I think they're trying their best with Kevin Patrick, but Kevin Patrick was never that guy. He just can't do that. And I think it's Vic that's going to be moving into that role. Bring it back to the ladies. I wasn't expecting Shotzi. I wasn't expecting a lot of the chaos that occurred during this whole match. It was still a great match, but there was a lot of chaos that I'm like, how do any of these people intertwine? And maybe this is me not following NXT, but I'm just like, where is everything? Why are these people here? This doesn't tie together for me well. And I guess to that point, Shotzi is hosting Halloween Havoc, so they had to bring her out to kind of get her tied into everything, but there's a lot of moving parts here that I was trying to keep track of in that, but I'm excited for Shotzi and Scarlett hosting the Halloween Havoc, but that's also because they're
set up a match, by the way. I'm telling you that right now.
Between those two or somebody else? Okay, between those. It probably does. There's probably some sort of play there, but also remember, they're doing a lot of the haunted house tours together, and they're hosting those for the WWE YouTube channels and that coming up.
I think it's still we're gonna get there. Yeah, I'm not saying it's happening soon. I think there's gonna get there.
Yeah. So, but that was my main point. It was just trying to keep track of every moving part going on in this thing.
The pub fight between the Brawling Brutes and Tyler against the Gallows Boys, essentially. Yes, this was fun. I liked it so much better than the Viking match. The Brawling Brutes and Brait essentially do homage to the Shield, just a little bit different by throwing somebody 3-way through a table. I liked it.
Yeah.
The Lyra and Becky promo, I'm invested in. I really am. I didn't know this girl was her prodigy, lived the life of Becky. They didn't say anything about her being an airline stewardess.
Right?
Yeah, a pilot. Wow.
Becky, Becky does a lot. Maybe we'll find out in her memoir that was promoted 25,000 times this weekend.
Are you going to buy it at least? I'm excited for it.
I am excited for it. I will.
It's March. I don't need to pre-order it 6 months ahead of time.
Actually, I think it's my birthday weekend it's coming out. But
it is.
Yeah. I might buy it. I think I might buy it. I'm excited for it, but holy shit, if I heard about it one more time, maybe I won't. Who knows? I'm sure I'm going to hear about it 14 times on SmackDown. Oh, he just got jumped. All right.
You're ahead of me. Lexus King is the stupidest name in the world.
But that's because he's taking over the last name of a great wrestler. His sisters, obviously. But, if you want to make the joke about the greatest wrestler of all time, then you can go down that route as well. But it's a tough sell. It doesn't fit him.
And you're showing your dad, Brian Pillman. You've been all over AEW for the last 4 years.
Yeah, and it's like, I now renounce my father as part of my lineage. It's like, right. No. So you're named after a car, and you're a king now. But make your name for yourself.
Carmelo with Cena against Braun and Heyman, and everybody in NXT comes out, along with The Undertaker. I loved both separately. I like Braun. I like Carmelo. I loved the match until shenanigans went about.
Yeah.
And the match for me took a hit. But it then shifted that I don't want to see a match between Braun and Taker, but I could watch 18 more promos probably between them, because Braun Breaker speaks better definitely than the dog-faced gremlin and his father ever did with Steiner Math. I love the little bit there. But man, The Undertaker looked rough just getting into the ring.
Undertaker's not safe. No.
I don't need it nor want it.
No, that was literally a play of, well, you're here, so why don't you just trot out there and go do something. That's why he's doing all the badass stuff now. It's because he's not going to get into full garb. He's just being Mark Calloway.
That stuff would be way too heavy for him now. That sounds like, listen, I'm old. I hate putting stuff on sometimes in the morning.
Yeah.
That jacket and everything's got to be heavier weighted.
Oh, it's at least 30 pounds probably that he's got to carry to the ring and all that stuff. He's not there anymore. And that's why he's doing all the biker gimmick stuff. Hey, I love the badass stuff that he's doing it. It's a little forced on the show that I think was just overstuffed to say, we're going to beat you this time because you're coming on to our night. And that's fine. But you're not going to be able to keep this up at this pace for, if you start a war, you're not keeping this up.
Cena's going to be gone in a couple of weeks. Because once the Actors Guild's ready. He could not have been at last night's show if they called him.
Yeah.
He's clearly there because we're watching him. But it could have been pulled that quick. That's been out there. At any point, they're like, Cena, get your ass back. Whatever you have done doing, you ain't.
Yeah, and they've started Peacemaker season 2, I think, already. So he's doing double duty because he was committed. Whenever he wraps up this commitment, he gone.
That's why I've been pushing, saying it's going to be him and Roman the whole time. And maybe that was the start of things in his 8 weeks when he came, because the strike wasn't over. And we didn't see LA. From what you guys saw last night, we're spoiling some of it. LA took over and started jabbering with Roman more than Cena did.
Right.
So we'll play on that next week when we actually get to hear the verbiage and everything. But that could have been their shift that Cena's probably gone. He might not make it to Saudi in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bless you. Oh, you were going to sneeze, but you did. Again. So he might not be able to make it to Saudi, so we better fill in LA Knight, who has nothing going on, but you can always throw him in with Roman because we build him up like that.
Yeah. You can pluck LA Knight, throw him in there. It's kind of similar to like when Austin was just catching fire. They threw him into a title match, kind of get the feet wet type thing. Neither of them would win in Saudi. But to your point, they have to put the contingency plan in place of, we need you back to work. There's insurance on your body to stay healthy and ready to fight and do what we need you to do. So get out, do what you need, do whatever happens, but you're done wrestling for the time being. So We knew it was coming. We knew it was it was on its last legs, and then when the writer's strike went down, it was like, okay, eventually the Actors Guild will follow the same. And then you go back to work.
Yeah, and then I go back to work.
As an actor, yeah.
Just stick and stay with NXT real quick. You're not getting Cody. You're not getting LA Knight. You're not getting Jay. You're probably not getting Becky much longer. You're not going to get this star power, and then you're going to get the fluctuation of Ray's going to be down. Not Ray. Dom's going to be down here for a little bit. Maybe he drops it. I'm not saying he's with the company anymore, but you understand. You're going to get the Apollo Cruises to come back. Yeah. So you're going to get the, oh my God, he came down. The next time that they meet up in 6 to 8 months, then you'll get this whole fluctuation of everybody's down again. But no, Becky's the only one staying. Well, Dom. I'll put it that way. Dom's been there. He'll probably stay longer than Becky's entire run. But Becky's the big one down there right now. You will not see any of those other people on NXT next week.
Agreed. 100%. 100%. And that's why they're going to move Raw to be the competition, because NXT's not built to be this long-standing competition. It needed so much help to just get it to topple Dynamite this week. It's not sustainable. So that's why you'll see the Beckys of the world be on Raw consistently, and that's why they'll move it to Wednesday night to fight Dynamite in that regard. And if I'm Tony Khan and I have a contract that's like, well, what night do you want to go on? I heavily campaign for Monday night, like you were saying earlier. You heavily campaign for it.
Real quick, and then we'll go to AEW. NXT goes to Monday. Dynamite goes to Monday. Raw goes to Wednesday. And this is horrible because now they're going to have back-to-back shows. SmackDown's on Thursday.
Yeah.
So both companies give up Friday. But, spoiler, Billy Corgan says one of the top 20 networks has picked up NWA. He can't release it yet. I don't want you to do it, so please don't. Top 20 networks? I mean, we're getting to the, I don't know, CBS, NBC, Fox, ESPN, USA,
TNT, TBS.
Yeah. That's not even 10 yet. But, okay, so 20.
Paramount?
The History Network is picking up NWA. I mean, that's where we are. One of those. Vice, who folds every other month. Good that it's going to be on free TV. We'll probably start covering it. I will definitely watch it, at least give you like quick show notes or something like that. It's almost like when ECW was on CMT.
Yeah.
Cool. That doesn't match genres. Oh my God, guys! Coming up next on Home and Garden, NWA Power.
And after that, Reba.
I mean, he said top 20, so maybe he's top 10.
Let's give him benefit of the doubt. Let's say he's talking top 20 cable. So that eliminates Fox, CBS, ABC, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're in the top 20. It's definitely not the top 10, which is your ESPNs, your fucking Fox Sports 1s, your USAs. That leaves Paramount, which was Spike at one point that gave up WWE and TNA. Right. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it ain't them. Maybe it's History Channel, maybe it's Discovery, but it's not Discovery because Discovery has AEW, so
Warner Brothers.
Bye. Discovery, Animal Planet, gone. Nickelodeon? Did they pick it up?
They have to be in the top 20.
They
right?
got to be in the top 20.
MTV, they're not going to. Is MTV?
MTV's not a bad guess. VH1, not a bad guess.
VH1's a horrible guess. How many people get VH1 anymore?
I don't fucking know. I haven't watched VH1 in 20 years, but
right.
Maybe it's MTV. They need something else than ridiculousness that they put on 24/7.
They have the Jersey Shore or whatever, and I said it pronouncedly bad like that because it's not the Jersey Shore anymore. It's something Thursday Shore or something like that. Trust me, I watch it. I don't watch that, but I watch MTV. I still like Catfish, by the way.
That's fair. But I can only take so much ridiculousness that it's.
Well, I agree.
Maybe it's MTV. Maybe for I was gonna say maybe for less it's Comedy Central. Maybe it's TV Land.
Well, because NWA is old.
Old school wrestling, old school territories. Bring it back to TV Land. Die it all together.
Do you want to talk about AEW?
We probably should. We're now bad mouthing NWA.
Again, another place we won't go.
Hey everyone, this is Anna Diaz, and I will choke you out if you don't go and listen to Can Crushers podcast.
I hope everybody's out and strong, ready to go for this last segment. Segment 3. Welcome back, Can Crushers. Are you ready to go for this?
I'm smashing pumpkins over here.
You're smashing pumpkins? Hey, please do. It's smashing them like it's 1979 again. So, it's good times.
Everyone, I've had 3, by the way, since we started recording of the Carlo Pumpkins. Pumpkin, sorry. Everyone has been the mid. Nothing light.
Nothing.
So they've just been, and I'm okay with the mid. But I was hoping, because now I'm out of these again for the 3rd time. I was hoping this one would be the Sugar Daddy one, the one that got a ton of caramel in it, because end of the show would like something to.
The one that gets you really hyped, ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So this whole batch was kind of mid.
Well, you saw what I did to that spooky tooth when I took the first swig out of that. That threw me for a fucking loop.
Right in the nuggets.
Whew. Kicked me right below the belt. This is what I was trying to find. I was trying to find Hangman's lower third, but I couldn't find it from this week. I was going to make a pun over hates cheating, but probably cheats at poker. So I was going to try to make something with that. It was a good lower third this week. Couldn't figure it out. Couldn't find it, so I couldn't remember it. So I went with Elton Strong. Oh God, Chloe Leader's on my screen again. Let's move on. AEW.
Collision. We won't deep dive into Collision. We'll cover some of the stuff that pissed us off and it was like, oh my God, wow. In the first one we're going to talk about, did both? Wait. The same time Jay and Cody won the tag team championship, Big Bill and Ricky Starks wins the AEW championship from FTR. Talk about shock and awe.
Yeah. 100% shock and awe. And Big Bill's first title outside of out of Stanford, basically, if I'm correct. He might have had something in NXT. Yeah, he didn't have it.
Really have anything on the main
Actually, I don't even think he won anything in NXT because I don't think they ever won the tag titles. So this was Big Bill's first actual title win anytime. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but now it's telling me a couple things at this point because the match was one-sided. It was not your barn burner type of match. It was very much a steamroll of FTR. So it's telling me 2 things. Somebody in FTR is injured, and they were supposed to lose the tag belts to Aussie Open at Wrestle Dream, but Aussie Open, we heard, is also injured, so they couldn't take the ball and run. Yeah.
Right. Championships and accomplishments in reverse for Big Bill / William Morrissey / the fuck was his name before then?
Big Cass.
Yeah. NXT Year-End Award, Tag Team of the Year, 2015 with Enzo. World of Unpredictable Wrestling, WUW North American Championship. Doesn't give a date. Ranked number 10 of 10 WWE wrestlers in 2016 in the Rolling Stone. Which you could take this one and wipe your ass with it. Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked 94 of top 500 on the PWI in 2017. We probably would have bitched about that.
That's generous.
2017, he was 94?
That's generous.
That's what I mean.
He would be 94 now.
And then essentially, nothing against World of Unpredictable Wrestling, but his first title, the AEW Tag Team Championships. So he never had anything at Stanford.
No, he didn't because, well,
you didn't want to put it on crazy ass Enzo.
Well, that, and weren't they in line, like, right when they got to the roster, but then that's when Enzo's accident with the ropes happened with the vaudevillains?
Yes.
I think they were in line to get it then, and it just went south.
Then he ended up being a dick because this is noted. He started drinking, he had a drug problem.
And it went downhill.
Enzo ruined the light heavyweight championship division.
Destroyed the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
But kudos to him. He's gotten back to where he's rebounded. It's fantastic.
I'm waving my hands in defense of him because tonight. Listen, we love FTR. We didn't know, and Jenks is like, shut up, this is supposed to be my spot. I don't care. I have a egret.
Egress.
I'm okay with this. Because it's just a change.
I mean, I don't mind the change. It became very obvious that the plans fell through for what they were supposed to be.
Right.
And I think they realized somebody was injured in FTR or Cash's hearing's coming up real quick here. One of the two. Probably both. But I think the only way you pivot is do you go Starks and Big Bill, or do you just throw the guns in there and say, shoot for the moon, guys, get the titles off them, whatever. If guns aren't factoring into any plans anytime soon.
Well, maybe. We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there, but at the end of the day, it was, we have to get the titles off of them. We don't want FTR Bucks 4 to be what this match was, so we have to do it in some form or fashion, and Big Bill's a big guy and can dominate things very quickly. So maybe that's the way to overwhelm them.
Which tells me, though, the next scenario, because I think it also leads to something, if I fight my mic for a second. When the Bucks cash in or do whatever they do, because it's a title down the line, whenever they want it, essentially, Bill and Starks don't win the match. They win the match, but they don't win the match because the Bucks will be attacked, thrown back in, and one of them will get the pin. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, on paper, they will beat the Young Bucks.
But will they have
without
really beaten the Young Bucks?
Anything to beat the Young Bucks? Because team whatever comes and destroys them when. So it was like, what's the safest bet? Because they probably knew this going into Wrestle Dream. Hey, FDR's dropping the titles, lickety split, but not on this show, whatever, Okay, we'll make Bucks since they're noteworthy. So when Big Bill and Starks beat them, that's a notch on their, headboard.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're losing it for a hot minute.
Well, I think they stick to the original plan, which I think the original plan was Aussie Open wins it. That gives them the win over the FTR, which they've already gotten in the past, but it's on AEW pay-per-view. Then they face the Bucks. They get over the Bucks to just establish themselves as one of the top teams in the company, right? I think now maybe the plan is give it to Big Bill and Starks. They need to run with something a little bit, or you get them to the Young Bucks who can take the title over, and you can still set something up with the Guns because there's some history there if you wanted to get it to the Guns, or if you wanted to get it somewhere else. Get it to Aussie Open at that point. You could do that as well. Because from what I understand, I think it was Mark Davis. Yeah, it's Mark Davis because Kyle Fletcher's the one going around wrestling right now. Broken wrist. I had a fractured wrist. It was 4 to 6 weeks. I assume it's the same timeline for his broken wrist, so he should be good right around full gear if they want to pull that card, right? So to me, they just have to shuffle some cards around. But to your point, love to see Starks and Big Bill get that continuous, that long title reign. But AEW and Big Men, though,
right,
it doesn't happen. And I'll tie that back to what happened on Tuesday night, because I was really pissed about one of the big men on Tuesday night but we'll get there when we get there. But to my point,
yeah,
the Young Bucks are factoring into this at some point.
Yeah. Danielson and Fletcher, I fucking need more of this. I didn't need what happened after. The whole Gates of Agony thing was more forced. Oh my God. There was more force. Sorry. Saw something on TV. Was more force than ever before. There's going to be change in Damage Control, by the way, shortly.
Oh, for sure.
Because somebody's becoming more popular than the whole fucking crew.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I saw what you saw. Okay. But no, I completely agree. Fletcher is the next star. So whenever him and Davis decide to go their merry ways, Fletcher is one of your hot young stars that's going to take over a lot and get really far in life very quickly.
I want him and Sabre, him and Ospreay.
Him and Ospreay, him and everybody under the sun. And Fletcher's damn good.
Yeah.
Just damn good. So
if Dynamite didn't happen, and I'll leave it at that because you guys will probably already know, this was my match of the week. But Dynamite happened. Both ended stupidly. I will put it that way.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I didn't like the ending of either because shit happened afterwards, this, that, and the other. But one person is involved in both matches that could have been match of the week.
Yeah.
All right. The Bang Bang Gang. Oh, shit. Why am I even mentioning that? Never mind.
Bang Bang Gang won.
Just reading my notes. Bang Bang Gang against Angelico, Metalik, and Gravity. After the match, Jay White talks to MJF is my notes. I don't even want to talk about the match.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. Once I saw this moron come walking down. I don't like Angelico or Metalik as well, so that's whatever. They're just not my cup of tea.
You're just not a fan of Gravity at all.
When this fucking idiot comes walking to the ring, I will drive to Guam to miss the match. I can't. I liked Outback Jack better than I like Gravity. I hated Outback Jack.
Who wins in a match, Max Moon and Gravity?
I at least have Max Moon's autograph, so I have to go with him.
Well, I agree. Max Moon shot shit out of his arm, too. Yeah. So, Max Moon. All right.
The Iron Savages.
Iron Savages?
Listen, they are 8.6% alcohol. So, if you're going to drink caramel
I was just assuming Gravity just made you so pissed off that you just couldn't talk straight.
Clearly blaming it on the alcohol now. Yeah, the Savages is the Acclaim. Listen, the best thing was Max making fun of the Mormons because they were in Utah. This was bad.
It's never good with him. I haven't seen an Acclaim match I've liked in a while.
No.
Let's leave it at that.
No, I agree. Tony and Kiera. Yeah, Tony wins. I may be getting sick of Tony. More on that here in a minute. Ruby and Renee were talking back that she wants her chance. Poor Ruby's never get. I love Ruby Soho. She's just not going to get a chance.
Yeah. She's always, and I'm not being sexist, but this is the phrasing of it. She always seems to be the bridesmaid, but never the bride type thing. You know what I mean? It's just, she can get there, but they never give her that opportunity to get to that point. I don't know.
And that's both companies have done it.
Both companies have done it. I just don't know. And with AEW, you have the secondary women's title. She should get a run with the TBS title at some point. I get it. With Jade, you just wanted to keep the streak going, but
she never got it. The Riot Squad was one of the hottest things in the NWA. In the
NWA? WWE.
In the WWE.
The Riot Squad should have had the tag titles at least twice.
Right.
If not more.
Between all of them, just whoever wins it and do the Freebird rule, something.
Yeah.
The Riot Squad was dropped heavily, by the way.
Yeah.
Zelina's on tonight. Good for her. Good. And I mean that nicely, because I like Zelina. I really do.
Yeah.
I almost think sometimes WWE should have one of the mid-card titles. I've always said that. They give them a women's intercontinental, women's whatever, national, something. But because there's people like Zelina that, listen, we're going to get those Zelina Ripley matches that steal a show at Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Zelina gets... There's a fucking foot difference, by the way, between them right now. But I love Zelina. I love her character. I love that she cosplays. Yeah, you're seeing it now. Like, I love all the cosplays and everything. Why can't she get a bone once in a while?
Agreed. I didn't realize she was that short.
Right?
I knew she was like 5 foot. Bailey's like 5'7", maybe.
Yeah. Eddie and Commander. Listen, ROH title, never in a chance that I think Commander is going to win this. And I hate that they give him a shot. By the way, promo for IWC in November, winner takes all. In Pittsburgh, Commander against the Viking guy at IWC.
Oh, El Vikingo? El Vikingo?
They're bringing them both in.
That one's going to be more crazy. I think they fought in AEW, but I feel like that's going to be more crazy the second in a IWC venue.
And an indie.
Did you see the shit Vikingo just did this weekend?
I did.
If you guys haven't seen it, he basically jumped, landed on the second rope on the outside, flipped, landed on the guy's shoulder, then gave him a Hurricane Rana afterwards. Fuck.
Uber athletic, but dude, that's too many chances.
Too many chances. He's uber athletic, yes. He takes too many chances, and sometimes his matches just don't flow because he's just spot fest. Maybe it's because I've only seen him when he does AEW stuff, and it's a lot of spot fest type activities. And again, they're doing more highlights of things, but you would think it'd be a little more calm it down. Like, get to Ospreay level where he calmed that shit down.
That
to be where he's at today.
Some bruises, though. And I don't think either one of these two are there.
No, I agree. 100%.
And I'll say it again. And I'll bitch about AEW when I talk about Dynamite. This isn't a main event. Copeland in the ring, just talking, isn't what I'm staying up for.
No.
And this wasn't even good. I was more happier, probably not correct English, when he was giving props to JR for everything that he's done, than what fucking followed.
Yeah. Just the Sphere, the fucking, you name it, everybody came.
Yep.
It didn't make sense. I don't know. It was too much. It's too much to end the show with. It should have been, I guess, the ROH World title. Just make that one the main event. Or make Daniel
kick off the show.
Kick off the show, or 9 o'clock hour. Do this whole shtick. That's where you're supposed. The 9 o'clock hour, to me, or those hour marks to me, are where you put in things that inject life into the people that are watching. Because you need to get them to the main event. So you have to leave them breadcrumbs at the hour mark to kind of get them to that next level. And to me, this was perfectly should have been slated for that 9 o'clock hour, because that would have got them where they needed to go. But
ready for me to stir the pot big time? And now we'll transition to Dynamite, but this is my big stir the pot moment. In AEW right now, the TBS title means more than the BBB.
Yes. Because it's defended more. The BBB is now a prop versus treated as a title.
You have two legends fighting over this. You have one of the hottest stars in MJF as your champion. He is known in New Japan. He's still, and I hate to say this, maybe this week helped me a little bit, but it might not have helped everybody. Jay White still does not have a following.
And that's why I think they put the title on him through theft. Because it is a trial period until they have this fatal, when we get there, this 8-man tag to get the title back, because they have no other way to get a trial run of him as champion without giving him the title, besides him stealing the title and running with it, so that they can get the AEW fans behind them, or at least hating him substantially. Now they did it. They got to make him the heel in this whole scenario, so they have to push this group, or push him to be this character that people can at least sink their teeth into somewhat, because I think they truly are planning to give him the title at Full Gear, but they don't have the evidence, lack of a better term, to give him that. He has the credentials and all that.
He's an amazing fucking
wrestler, but the U.S. audience is so much different than what you're seeing in New Japan in that. And maybe it happens in that MJF match, but since it had to shift from Adam Cole to Jay White, they need something for the fans to sink their teeth into right now. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Juice Robinson and the Guns mean more to the crowd than what Jay White does right now.
Agreed 100%. The Bang Bang Gang, and I'll throw him in the 4.
Yeah.
Is loved.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a match without them.
Yeah.
If he has a match without him, and I'm not saying it's a bathroom break, but it's not a must watch, because he's not there yet. And it sucks, because he's got the notoriety, he's got the resume, he's got all the words that wrestlers use. When I'm coherent on spotlights, you understand that I understand wrestling, but I'm not coherent on weekly shows. Just everything, because he's got every in-ring everything. He's awesome. He's like a balloon floating over in AEW right now. It's there. Nobody cares. And I think you're wrong. I don't think he wins at Full Gear. If that was I don't think he wins at Full Gear. That's when Adam returns to save him, but more shenanigans happen, and we get then Adam Cole, MJF is the next one. Again.
Well, that could be. I mean, at this point,
we've changed 17 times by then, so don't hold that as our prediction.
Well, yeah. I was throwing it out there because I truly think the past week and going forward for however long till this 8-man tag is the trial run of this is Jay White. He has the title. He's cutting promos. He's acting as your champion. Do you embrace him or not? And I feel like AEW is on the verge of, they're not fucking embracing him. So what do we do with Jay White?
It also doesn't help. I don't know if it was Taz or Excalibur. Every 30 seconds, this is not our champion. He is not our champion.
It was Excalibur.
Give me a minute to process it. Why isn't he your champion then? Well, you keep telling me he's not your champion. Let me wonder why. And he's doing it during the promo, and I'm like, all right, I get it. He's not the champion. Why the fuck does he have the belt? The other guy who says he's a champion hasn't spoken yet. You keep talking over both of them.
Yep. And it ruined it. It takes away from
out. Mom's home, and I think the dogs are coming. Fucking gear.
But to wrap up that point, though, you're exactly right. You can keep saying that he's not the champion, but to get people invested, you got to let the promos play out. You got to let the screen time play out. There's a difference between WWE and that. WWE gives the stage time. The commentators kind of back off. AEW, they can back off.
You're trying to say something right now, Jenks. I'm going to talk over you.
And then tell you about the 14 different shows we have next coming up.
I know.
They'll back it off when they have to, or when they need to. With they've done that, but majority of the time, they're commenting.
Yep. All right. Dynamite.
Oh.
Yeah. See who that is?
See who's in the ring.
About this next week.
I know.
When I actually listen to it, with his old wrinkles and all his bracelets on. I didn't care about Christian calling the control room assholes. I think we're getting too much Christian. Again, the TBS title meaning more. Like they're pushing this as it's number one, is what I was getting to. Anybody else? This is where Tony maybe should have been before he went apeshit crazy, welcoming in everybody in.
Yep, agreed. Not Christian taking credit for getting them an extra half-hour commercial for free. Da-da-da-da-da. Christian didn't need to be on there.
Did you know, and I have yet to watch it, probably won't watch it, on YouTube, there was a half-an-hour buy-in to Dynamite. Or 0 hour, or whatever.
I missed it. I know it's Suzuki and Kingston. I gotta watch it. I missed it. But
they announced it like 15 minutes before it started.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, not happening tonight.
Let dogs out. I can't get in it. So
I wasn't watching Dynamite live anyways on Tuesday, so it was like, well, I guess I missed that. So
I was at play practice. So yeah. Danielson swerve, fuck yeah, is what I wrote. No notes. Fuck yeah, Hangman comes out. Shenanigans. Give me this again.
Injecting my veins. Every minute of it. Every fucking minute of it. They wrestled smart. Fantastic wrestling. They meshed so well together. You know what I see every time I see Swerve? AEW World Champion. I didn't want him even to... I wanted him to win this match, but I didn't want him to sniff the TNT title because I just want him in the AEW picture.
Yep.
If anything, I'd rather have Swerve versus MJF right now instead of Jay White versus MJF because Swerve is established and he's hot.
Yep. Agreed. Wholeheartedly. I was happy that he lost this match. Not happy that he lost the match, but happy that he lost the match.
Yep.
You clearly understand that.
Yeah.
Danielson's a pawn. Now that Adam Copeland's here, listen, tonight as you guys are watching it, something's happening. I will not predict that Danielson's the TNT champion.
No.
That title is like Danielson taking the Cruiserweight Championship in the WWE. Was never going to fucking happen.
No chance in hell. No chance in hell. If it does happen,
Crow will be cooked, served, and delivered to us.
If it does happen, then I am fucking stoked because that means it's going to be probably similar to what OC did to the international title. We're going to defend it weekly. Yeah. We're going to have fucking great match after great match after great match after great match, and we're going to build prestige around it.
And hopefully he defends it until December 2nd.
Yes. Yes. Because if I have to hear one person say, you better be wrestling one more time.
Somebody already came at me over that.
Somebody already texted me about it, and then I told them, oh, he's going to be on fucking commentary watch during the night. And then I made a list that I've already been on several times, probably in the last 2 years. So that's, get him to December 2nd. Let's go.
The Joe promo was good, but I think it's a farce.
It's way too much of a farce. There's no way. Joe's not in line right now. I'm going to turn into people.
He's in line, but I know
he's not there. Okay, this is turning into people I want to see in line before Jay White. And Samoa Joe, I would have thought would have been the one in line. You could tell that story pretty much next.
Right.
But apparently we're not ready for non-smoke cigar Joe yet.
Right. This is where we should take a break to catch up. Yeah. Stop, because you'll kill me.
I'm trying.
Jericho and Hobbs. Listen, I'm happy Hobbs got the win. I really am, because I thought it was going to be another half-assed chapter and get fired from the family or something like this. So at least there's a meat. I'm not saying potatoes yet, but there's meat on the bone.
This is the $2 type meat.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking...
12, what was it, 13 spine busters or whatever they ended up being.
There he is. Okay, sorry.
I'm trying, like, after the first spine buster, I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, yep, there he is. Just walking out here, just coming out of nowhere. After the first spine buster, okay, Jericho kicks out. Great. Fantastic. Whatever. Hits the second one. I'm like, oh, match is done. 3 minutes tops. That's fine. Now he kicks out. I'm like, okay. Third one. And at some point there was just a string of them.
Then I thought Jericho was winning. And I'm like...
Well, I thought Jericho was winning when he hit the fucking, whatever the hell it's called. The knee one. Whatever. And then there's about 14 more spine busters before Jericho finally decides, I'm done. And this did nothing for Hobbs.
No.
His his finisher, it's the spine buster. And you literally just destroyed what his finisher was.
Mm-hmm. But it's not a generic chapter. I'm thinking, at least.
Well, it's not, because you beat Jericho, you beat Chris Jericho, you're in the Don Callis family. You're right, it's not a generic chapter. But you've also not helped him whatsoever
to
get over. You royally screwed him. You might as well just give Jericho the win at this point, because you've made his finisher null and void. To me, this was just a terrible... This match went on 10 minutes longer than it should have.
Oh, yeah. I'm really intrigued, by the way, what's going on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it, but I'm really intrigued. Listen, I'm going to spoil it right now for you guys. We're still recording as Aldis is in the ring, and who knows what the fuck his name is, but Aldis is in the ring with Dom. Like, and now I'm going to ruin it for Jenks. Somebody's coming out.
Yeah, somehow you got ahead of me when I was ahead of you. I don't know what the hell happened.
Okay. We get to Adam Cole in the Kingdom, and he's been at Roddy's for a whole fucking week. First and foremost, there's no cell service, there's no video games, there's no TV. Has Britt not wondered where the fuck he is? He was supposed to have surgery last week. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
He was supposed to have surgery. As a doctor, you would make sure
he was there.
Right? So Britt's now not caring about Adam Cole either.
not giving a shit. But they did clear that up. He hasn't had self-service for a week. But, so, let me get this straight. Roddy's making him mow the lawn now, and now he needs one more thing. What's next? He's going to side his house?
I did say, hey, Adam, mine needs cut, because I still have not cut mine. And this will be the last time I cut it this year. It's fucking October. Is it this weekend? Sure shit, not tomorrow.
And mine's now
rolled over until Monday.
I'm honestly looking at mine like
April.
You're done. But I got leaves falling still, so I'll probably end up doing it just to cut the leaves up a little bit.
So much with Adam in the kingdom. At first I was like, I'm now falling into the stupidness of it that I like it.
It's funny. It has a lot. Taven throws me for a loop every time I watch him, but it's hilarious. We knew why he had the draft, but they finally explained the long muscle neck, whatever. It's funny. It's good segments. It's good television, and we could hear it this time, which is always a plus.
Continue this. It happens later. MJF's talking with Renee, and he doesn't want to be interviewed, but he wants to call Adam. He calls Adam, and he's in a tunnel driving through the Fort Pitt tunnel. Everybody essentially knows that. You're in and out of service. Adam's that way, and then the Acclaim comes up and says, hey, we got your back. But Badass is like, I don't have his back. I could give two shits about him, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
So he's going to work on them, and that's the 4-on-4 match, essentially, that we keep talking about.
Oh, right. And I like that Daddy Ass is like, I'm not down with this, and Bowens is just questioning him like, you're just being weird right now. What the fuck are you doing? Like, it makes sense for the storyline. It's going to progress this a couple weeks because he's just not going to have the backup yet because they need to get on the same page with helping him do whatever he needs to do. I like that they're bringing them together, but it's storytelling. It's a little bit of layering going on here, so we will get there.
Why did Orange lose the title?
I don't know. The real reason is he was supposed to get it back at Full Gear, but I think they were just done with what they had to make a decision. And now we're a month and a half later, and OC's back as a champion. But he's healed. He's healed.
He has healed.
There's no tape. He's healed. He's healed.
Ray's hurt. Moxley's on the shelf. Is this so essentially we get another Moxley OC match that quick?
I think we were getting another Moxley OC match at Full Gear regardless. I think now they just reversed the roles of it. I think Moxley we talked about this, his reign was probably to get to Full Gear, to drop it back to OC. And now they're kind of like, well, FedEx is hurt. Mox couldn't wrestle. We might as well get the OC now, and we'll just flip the tables. When Mox is ready, he can fight OC at Full Gear. But they don't lose the match.
Mox will not be 100%. That's why OC will keep it.
Probably. That way you keep Mox strong. OC looks still good going over.
And then I'll be a dick. We need to get it off of OC that quick again, though. Right after Full Gear. And I know Miro's not going to be in the picture because we've talked about this. Miro's probably going to have people with Lana that he's got to fight first before he sniffs the title or something like that. Where does this title go now? It just sits on OC again for another 375 days? Or whatever?
Maybe. Unless, there's nobody really that stands out that could take it. Unless they pull a TV title off Joe and throw Joe into the mix, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to put people that aren't ready in that position for it.
The only person, and I really don't know how long his injury is gone, we get Pac again.
Maybe.
We get it. We get the international title then for 2 weeks, off for 6 weeks, back on for 3 weeks, off for 4 weeks. I don't think they want that, though, either.
They don't. And we know it's not going to be Penta, because Penta seems to be the first offense for OC here, because they locked eyes. He was his brother. Right. So that's probably going to be on an episode of Collision here coming up in the near future.
They're struggling with this title all of a sudden.
I think maybe it's just we don't see what they have out there, but to that point,
they haven't shown us anything, though, either.
They haven't shown us anything, and there's probably nothing past Full Gear for this title. So,
I'm going to mix all of these up in one. The Tony Storm thing sucked. If you showed me full picture, maybe a 30 to 90 second, whatever she was doing, I'd watch. The only time I watch the picture-in-picture when there's no match going on is when Sammy's flipping cards. Mm-hmm. If it's somebody dancing, something like Tony Storm, what did she do? I watched it, trust me, I did. But I hated myself for watching it. She drove a car silent. She threw her hands up in the air silent. She did this silent. She did that silent. What the fuck was that? The worst part of wrestling this week was what Tony Storm did.
Yeah, and you could tell it was a desperation. Don't leave. Don't flip the channel. Because we have things going on.
We have a really hot woman. It's mean to say it this way. Half naked, doing stupid stuff on TV.
But let's take down this road. We've made Tony Storm is popular. This character gimmick of a timeless or a old Hollywood starlet is a popular gimmick with the fans. And it does fall down the same category. But to your point, I don't want to sit there for... None of it was worthwhile to sit through.
None.
Unless you don't have any self-control. I don't know. But it's like, there's just no reason to sit through it, because I get it's part of the gimmick, it's part of all that, and you're trying to keep people... It's not my jam. I like the gimmick where she's out there, she's portraying this character, the speaking roles and things like that.
Yeah, moving on. I can't wait to talk. I'm not even giving a spoiler on that.
Okay, moving on.
This is where you're going to bitch. I want you to lead this one. Because in match, the way that we're going, somebody big, is that who you wanted to talk about?
I was pissed about Hobbs. Okay. I was pissed about Hobbs. This was what it was. It was Wardlow coming out, powerbomb. I literally was like, okay, this has got 3 minutes tops, and then all of a sudden, just fucking 20 seconds later, Seidel's done,
dead
to rights. So it was like, well, that didn't take long.
Didn't see it last week when he did it to Bob Smith, because I don't remember who he did it to.
Griff.
Did see it this week, though. White tape, left wrist, MJF.
Yeah.
This is going to sound horrible because I love the human being that Wardlow is. He's nowhere fucking close to that title right now because of what AEW did to him.
Is it being close to the title, or is it being close to MJF?
That's almost over for me because of what they did to Wardlow. I remember back in the day of early AEW, Wardlow was with him. He had his comeuppance, he did his thing. That would have been a great time to do it. But you did other things with him that was kind of good with the TNT Championship. Listen, I will say when he tagged with Joe, and anything after that, Wardlow has been a waste. And I love the human being that Wardlow is. I will continue to say that. I think he's super uber athletic, and what he does is awesome. This isn't on him. This is on the story of Wardlow. And they fucking killed him. He should not have MJF on his wrist right now.
No, and to that point, I don't know. But it's weird. Like, if you wanted to target someone, you put their name on your wrist. To me, it's... Yeah, right. It's a memorial type thing, right?
Right.
Or you're memorializing something related to that person. Are they in cahoots? And it's just a subtle MJF thing? Just a subtle nod?
None of it makes sense. Like, I can't try to put the pieces together.
I can't either, but the way my mind is working is, I think of it this way: Wardlow was off for a long period of time. MJF started becoming our scumbag, our babyface. He seems remorseful now. He seems like he's making strides and trying to mend bridges type thing. Like with Renee, he showed Renee a bunch of respect this week during their back.
He apologized.
He apologized for cutting it short. Maybe he's reaching out, mending fences, if you will, and they can kind of play that off with Wardlow. Like, while I was out, MJF did check on me. You know, he did talk to me. He did do this, did do that. Maybe there's a way to tie it back. Maybe our scumbag is trying to turn over a new leaf with a lot of people. I don't know.
They gave this away way too early. Hangman and Jay. Never. I would have bet the $1.7 billion fucking lottery that Hangman wasn't even going to sniff a win in this.
Yeah, I knew Hangman wasn't touching the win column in this. And then they belabored the point that Hangman is just terrible at fighting Jay White.
In 6-man matches and 8-man
matches, Royals and 4-ways and singles, fucking sucks against Jay White.
Like, we've never heard so much New Japan, ROH, and indie backstory on any wrestling.
It wasn't it doesn't seem like it was to put over Jay White. It was just to bury fucking Hangman Page.
It was. They should have just put the resume. We'll give props out. Wrestle Cage. Here is every time that Hangman and Jay have wrestled each other, and he's lost 27 matches.
At that point, it should have been his lower third of Hangman just cannot beat White. His lower third should have read, Hangman can't operate a switchblade, or some bullshit like that. Just left it.
Right, something just nonsensical.
Yeah.
Which then makes me bitch about this match because it went 2.5 commercials essentially, because it started and it went to break.
Like
immediately. Before it even started. Yeah. And then it went to break 2 more times.
Yep.
Hangman's not getting over. Why are you? And then Nana and da. This was way too long for what happened.
Yeah, it was way too long and way too big. They gave away a high quality pay-per-view match for what was going on to just build up to MJF basically, Swerve and
Hangman
again. That was it. And then what happened after that of MJF tucking his tail and just kind of walking away.
Yeah.
And Juice Robinson being very stereotypical racist, or that religious, or I don't know what you would call that, but very stereotypical at that point.
Everything he did in this was Warner Brothers probably getting a fine.
It was cringe because I get they were tying it back to the bully story with the quarters, which they tried to relive, rehash, all of that. B, you gotta have some fucking common sense, especially with things that happened earlier this week outside of wrestling world.
It was less than 8 hours.
It was agreed. And you're just like, oh, well, let's run this thing with a roll of quarters, and it should be fine. Like, I was cringing by the end of it.
Didn't go over well.
Didn't go over well at all.
No. This was, I don't know, ballparking 30 minutes of a waste. That's the best way of putting it. From the, and I'm not saying, and I am saying the action, because it was generic action. It wasn't the best.
It wasn't going to be barn burner. No.
Yeah. And just everything that happened, and then tying in what Jenks just said, the aftermath was...
Well, at least I guess we know who's winning the Diamond Battle Royal next week, and probably the Diamond Ring in 2 weeks. It's going to be Juice.
You think? I thought this was
think
something that never leaves MJF. This is just like his Undertaker shtick.
Here's the thing, though. Juice is definitely winning that Battle Royal because they have to further the storyline along.
I'll give you that.
Then you're going to have all these guys. Maybe that's when the Acclaim comes out, evens the odds, and MJF secures the victory. But I could very easily see them just going full shtick. MJF loses the ring to Juice, and that's when he has to basically say, I need friends. And that's when he goes to Max Caster and goes to the Acclaim and basically says, can you guys help me?
Dig it. Sucker.
Sucker.
No, I get it. I do like yours.
That'll be the shucky shucky quack quack for that week.
I thought that this was, listen, the first time they did it, I was all for it. The second time, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool that he wanted again. And then he wanted again. And I'm like, okay, this is his shtick. Because it's in a lot of his matches.
Right.
He's never going to lose this until, I don't want to say he doesn't need it. I don't think he needs it now.
Right.
But we're really recording long tonight. So who the fuck knows how long this is going to end up being. But stick with us. We're almost done. This is his shtick. Like, this is horrible. It's a kilt to Piper. So this is his, doesn't fit
his thing.
But you know what, yeah. So I think he faces Juice. And I think he gets the win. But I don't think he gets the win because he beat Juice. I think Juice loses because he gets jumped. Because the following week will be MJF, Jay White at Full Gear. And they want to soften him up. They don't give two fucks about the ring. They want injured going into the match.
That's fair.
So,
fair.
I'm skipping this next match and going to the main event.
Okay.
Because no way in fuck, I don't care if Adam Copeland is doing any. This is not a main event. Listen, I love that Adam Copeland's going to do some cool things in AEW. Again, this was horse shit, this main event. One, because it's not a main event. When you have a fucking title defense and change 5 minutes before this main event, just because his name's Adam Copeland, God, someday come on Can Crushers. I'd love to hear your story. You can't. In the realm of wrestling, because we're programmed this way, and I understand that AEW is trying to break our program, it's not there yet to be broken. Why does this match, not having anything to do with a title or a major feud, this is your first match in AEW, why is that a main event?
No. It doesn't make any sense. And
I love Edge Adam Copeland, by the way. So I'm completely just being a complete asshole. But this is not a main event. Again, this should have been your fucking first match.
Kick off the show. I mean, to your point, and even then, it wasn't a straight up one-on-one match. They fucking jumped him before the bell.
Right.
And now he's injured. Now we're crawling around, and now we're like fucking, well, why are we doing the sticks? Can we not do that? And now everybody and their mother is involved in some sort of fucking rivalry going into Saturday, which is convoluted to convoluted's sake is not the way to go. Don't just put brawls on the end of shows to kind of get people to be like, oh, what's going to happen next? Well, I don't know. They're probably going to fucking do it again on Saturday, and
yeah,
then that's it. Right? It's like, Jesus, there were so many random fucking people at the end of the show coming out. Gates of Agony, Paige, Swerve only came out because Gates of Agony came out. I get they were tied to the Blackpool Combat Club and they're going to have a match later, but they had no tie to Luchasaurus or Christian Cage at any point. Swerve did, but it was just so convoluted. It didn't make any goddamn sense.
As I'm looking at this shouldn't even have been your 9 o'clock match. You know,
this is like your second match of the night.
Yeah, Danielson Swerve, definitely, you give them that. Yeah. Especially it's free time. So you give them that. Your 9 o'clock match, which I think actually ended up being Ray against Orange. Yes.
Yeah.
Title match. Have this on after Ray and Orange. Bump everything else forward. And then have your women's match, which shocked the fucking company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holy Sheeta. Now, history maker Sheeta, because she's the only 3-time women's champion in the company's history. She's now beaten Saraya on free TV, dethroned her when we were sitting here thinking, oh, maybe
Britt or Jamie.
It's Britt or Jamie.
Listen.
But
that's all we were saying.
Now Sheeta's just out here saying, well, fuck you, Can Crushers, because I'm going to take this fucking title and run with it. And more power to her. I couldn't be fucking happier she did.
Listen, but I love Paige Saraya.
Yeah.
Love her for everything she's done for wrestling. This was a bad title run.
Oh, yeah.
Injuries involved hurt her with everybody that she was probably supposed to wrestle.
And it didn't help. She had her magical moment, which was great in her hometown. But after that, it just didn't. There's nothing she could do.
No. Nothing. In only wrestling, I guess we can say every other week. And really only, this is really a slap at her, so I'm sorry. Only showing up every other week. She has not been on TV every week. If she does, and as much as I just bitched about it, if she does the Seth Rollins things and at least does promos or something every week,
that's fine. Yeah. Pulls an MJF. He shows up, does a promo, does a couple crazy things with Adam Cole, wrestles once a month.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It was every other week and only one match. So, and I understand. Listen, injury. So I'm not, it just wasn't.
I mean, to that point, the title run wasn't anything special. But to our point before, she's also not that great on the mic, so you can't really let her run with a promo too much.
Yeah.
When she can't carry one, right? And so you have to pick your horse piece. Is she on TV? Is she not? Maybe just have Ruby talk and just have her just sit back and be Ruby's the mouthpiece. I'm just here. That type of thing, but not what we got.
So as we close quickly, I will have one question for you.
Shoot.
Where the fuck do we go with Sheeta? And I'm happy that she has it. And I don't mean it mean because she's on the wall with the very first title. But boy, I don't Britt's not in the picture. She's taking time off. Jamie, they don't even mention her name anymore.
Mm-mm. I firmly believe, my firm belief right now is Sheeta deserves a actual run with this title, not the 3 weeks she got. So maybe she makes the run till when Haydu gets back in 2024. Maybe she gets a few months with it and just let her run. Because I feel like maybe there's going to be a return match with Saraya, or maybe it's Tony Storm and Sheeta going at it at Full Gear, right?
I think it's Ruby, actually, because of the spray paint.
That could be too.
Ruby's the fucking bridesmaid.
Ruby's not winning it. If it's Ruby, great, fantastic. But again, she's gonna fucking fall short because that's just how they booked Ruby. Because she's the bridesmaid. She's the one that always falls. The friend that's there is not the main character, so they're just there to take the fall. And maybe just they give Sheeta the run that she deserves in front of fans. For several months.
She had a great run during COVID.
Yeah. But there was nobody there.
Right. And then she held it for a day and a half when she got it the second time.
Yep.
I don't know. What was it, 3 weeks?
And then, it was 3 weeks, and then she had to fight to get into her own title match at fucking All In, or All Out, which I'll never understand.
That.
The
person that you beat
got a free pass.
Free pass. Yeah, you have to make
you have to earn it. You won the title, but you have to earn it.
Yeah. So wrestling was good this week. Great this week. What the fuck this week? We had the realm of everything in wrestling.
We did. So it's what we've come to. It's what we want from professional wrestling. We should have very good. WTF is going? The fuck is going on here? And, well, that was just shit, but they have to put something on at that time. That's literally how it goes as a professional wrestling fan. You get everything.
The following week, I will tell you right now, as we're an hour and a half into SmackDown, we don't know what the fuck's going on verbally, but we see it. SmackDown's probably going to be something that we spend a lot of time on.
Oh,
because those promos.
Whatever happened.
Pretty awesome too right now.
Oh, Jesus.
But other than that, I mean, I know some things are going to happen on Dynamite, and I no idea what's going on in Collision. We've seen some of the stuff, but I don't know if it's going to be a lot of filler this week, I think, because both of them are minimum 4 weeks away from their next big show.
They've announced the big matches for Saudi, so those are out of the way, so they can fill it in now with whatever they need to get the remainder of the matches to fill out the card. To your point, AEW's another week after that, so they're probably we don't need to really do much right now. We just have to kind of coast for a couple weeks, and that's where you're going to see the juices with the Battle Royal, and then the ring, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen after that. And it's just filler to get us to the end. And so you're absolutely right. And let's be honest, whatever WWE puts out for Saudi, it's not going to be, it's getting them the War Games. That's what it's getting them to. It's getting them to the end of November. So
we'll beat this dead horse. Saudi will be at noon, 1 o'clock. Yeah, I don't care. It could be Iowa State against Maryland. Probably watching college football on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
It is what it is.
It's their show. We'll watch it when football's not on.
Yep, exactly.
So it's a Monday watch for some people. But Tuesday, possibly.
It could be spread out over a couple of days at that point.
Or by then, it's like, I've seen enough on TikTok.
We're good. We're good.
Which leads us to, we're really super excited because next week will be Ask Can Crushers. You can send them in at cancrusher69@gmail.com, or we didn't mention this because we're going to wait. Jenks is going to say, call us.
Yeah, call us. Call us on our toll-free line, 3 minutes of length. Not like multiple calls. Give us your best questions that you can. Call us at 814-299-6687. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love your questions. Bring them all in.
We have a few in the hopper. I've already copied them from the email, stuck them in my notes so I can ask them next week. Didn't look. Just they're there. Super excited about them. So yeah, that's the show.
I was hoping that was going to happen tonight. Anyways, we're talking about that next week. But
SmackDown has been fucking amazing.
It has been.
Peeking at it for the last hour and a half has been. I can't wait. Like I'm going to wake up early tomorrow and watch it since things have been settled.
Yeah.
Well, not settled here in the house, but
moved around. But
exchanged. What do you have? Listen. Knowing that I have a free week, interviews and play practice, but no gallivanting, essentially. More beer, saving more pets.
That sounds like a solid week. That sounds like a great week.
Side, right?
Yeah, we're past that. Now you gotta leave it. You gotta leave it the way it is.
Oh, I can't change it. So
no, good. Yeah, that's too much money to change that. You need to save your money for hops.
Not hops. Hops.
I said hops.
I know, I'm kidding.
That you need the powerhouse of hops. That's what you need. Maybe throw a book in there. It might help it.
I gotta stop naming them after dogs in the neighborhood. I need
to after wrestlers.
I'm going to.
Oh. Yeah. One of them's going to be the Book of Hops, isn't it? Book of Hops.
I didn't even think of it, but yes.
Book of Hops. There you go. Or Powerhouse Hops.
I actually already have one named after a wrestler because the person that wanted me to make it, her name was Rosa.
Okay.
So it's Thundering Rosa.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. It was a good one.
Thanks.
My week consists of maybe singing in the rain tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going on a haunted tour next Thursday with work. Doing a team activity. We're going to the brewery up here, and they give haunted tours because it's a haunted place in Erie. So we're going to the brewery.
Imagine if part of the paranormal was still a thing. You kind of
I know, right? They came on as I guess guest star, but also I'll probably be a couple beers in. So there's an apparition ale that I'm really excited to have. It's an amber ale, so it looks pretty good. Love the label on it. It's a little ghost on the staircase, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be Thursday. Rest of the week, wrestling, just trying to survive. Basically, just get me to the end of the week. Get me through it.
You get the Can Crushers. Can Crushers coming up.
Yeah, get me to Ask Can Crushers. Imagine if we did Ask Can Crushers on Thursday after I'd been through the haunted house and just drunk as a skunk. JK, I won't be that drunk, but
you'd be like me right now. Trust me. I don't know how editing's gonna go.
You might get a good text on Thursday, but we'll see what happens.
This is rough. I got a half of caramel pumpkin, and it's number 3 during the show. 4 overall for the night. I'm not drinking 4 of these in one night, and at 8.6% alcohol. This boy is pretty rough right now.
Let me tell you, I've witnessed just recently people drinking 4 8.6% beers in one night, and they were asleep on my back seat coming home. So let's leave it at that. So
I am ready. So remember, just because I'm trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, Mark, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.
Whoop whoop.